Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Adam Green here with No More News. Thank you for joining me today, Wednesday, August 12th, 2026. I'm feeling the blood of the dragon in old Valyria. Ice in my veins. Anyway, obviously Game of Thrones inspired thumbnail today. Goes hard. Don't we all just love the Targaryens? Aren't the Targaryens the greatest? Oh, we've got devastating news for the Candace cultist. We've got a Jesus vs. Terminator cartoon we're going to watch. We've got some anti-America, anti-West kosher propaganda. We've got some of the latest with Trump. He did this new Patriot Games, and I didn't even know it was happening. And all I've seen is this little clip from it. Sounds like it was a big spectacle dud. The Patriot Games. powerchat.live/knowmorenews, getting that turned on right now. We're going to be doing the book club tomorrow night, I believe. Tonight I'm doing a stream on YouTube with Gnostic Informant about the suffering Messiah and origins of Christianity. Yeah, we got some Mizrahi stuff also. You say no Mizrahi. We do have 2 short Mizrahi clips. And a bunch of other stuff. Let's start. Let's see what's going on with Trump and the Patriots love their president. Hey, look, it's the same sparklers that TPUSA had at Charlie's ceremony. Who's this guy he's hanging out with? I saw people naming him, but it was nobody I've ever heard of before. Hey, not that big of a track. Look, it only goes back a few. The stands only go back like 20 seats. We're gonna have a demonstration of the male cheerleading squad. His left hand is bruised again. Yeah, he's got some. He takes the really big Tylenols, ibuprofens.
For our national anthem.
I love how they're like, oh, they like all these people aren't carefully selected to go and be there and told to clap, and they're like, oh, the Patriots, the young Patriots really love Trump. Totally. Trump's asked about running for a 3rd term. He says he can't do it. The law's very strong unless they change the laws, of course.
And are you serious about taking the 3rd term?
Everybody asked me that question.
Everybody.
The law is very strong on that. I'd love to.
But Miriam said she'd give you another $250 million. And Alan Dershowitz says that you guys can change the law and do whatever it takes. I don't think he's got it in him to do another term, to be honest. Maybe he doesn't want a whole another 4 years. Just he wants to stay in until he dies. He just doesn't want to let go of the reins of power. He would never. Probably not.
Well, even tonight they're screaming at the event, 2028. Now everybody wants me to do it, but the law is very strong. Thank you very much, everybody.
He just keeps trolling it over and over again. Okay, let's watch this. Terminator vs. Jesus, the greatest action story ever told. This looks good. I forgot somebody sent this in yesterday. This looks super good. I'm sure this is going to be based. Let's go. Movie screen mode.
Into this world, a child is born.
Year 0. You guys have seen this? I've never seen it. Terminator 2 was like my favorite movie. So good. Is this Jesus? This is how Jesus is coming back the second time. Why is anybody laughing? Fake laugh track.
enjoying the night air, my brother?
Your robes, give them to me.
Oh, I come bearing many gifts, but I assure you my robes are not among them.
What are you? Some kind of wise guy?
Well, actually, yes.
He's back. Arnold Schwarzenegger is the Terminator in the greatest action story ever told.
Search mode, son of God.
Hasta la vista, baby Jesus.
All right, settle down. Did I make enough? Good. Back to my sermon. Blessed are the...
Get down!
Oh, he's protecting Jesus from the Romans and the Pharisees?
What are you doing?
They were going to arrest you.
I know.
This is so good. Like, if you had a time machine, would you go back and save Jesus's life? No, you wouldn't, because him dying was the most important thing that's ever happened in the history of the universe, and it's God's ultimate mystery and divine plan. You needed Jesus to die. You wouldn't be saved. Why would you go back and save Jesus? In fact, you'd want him to die. It's God's plan. It has to happen.
And crucify you.
It is supposed to happen.
What are you, a glutton for punishment?
Yes.
In the beginning, there was Arnold.
I'm a cybernetic organism, living tissue over metal endoskeleton. My mission is to protect you.
I appreciate your concern, and I realize you've traveled a great distance. But there's a plan, a master plan even, and I can't explain it to you now, but you must stay away. And you cannot go
The
around...
master plan. Trust the plan. Which is why it's so silly when these e-crusaders run around all day crying about Jews killing Jesus. Which, you know what? Actually, I think I've noticed a bit less of that recently. They were like feverishly whipped up into a hysteria about it, where it was like all I would ever see on my timeline. All the conspiracy, anti-Zionist media is more preoccupied with the murder of Charlie Kirk than the murder of Jesus now.
I'm killing people.
Why?
Because it is one of God's commandments. Thou shalt not
Yeah,
kill.
Jesus needed to go and commit suicide. That was the plan. That was God's plan. Sacrifice himself to fulfill his rules.
Why?
Because it is a sin.
Why?
Because it's not nice.
Why?
Sounds like an ortho, bro.
Forgive him, Father. He is a robot from the future.
Thou shalt not miss this movie. Now, come, witness the miracle.
Brothers, my time with you is almost over. But for now, let us eat.
Judas.
Eat this.
You just don't get it, do you?
You have been targeted for termination.
I already told you, I'm supposed to die for the sins of mankind.
I'm programmed to protect you.
Stop! Stop killing Judas!
But he's going to betray you.
This is so
I
deep.
know. Look, I've got a lot on my mind right now.
This
and
is
you're
like the Gospel
really
of
starting to
Judas,
stress
where
me.
like he takes Judas aside, he gives him the secrets, he asks him, he says, you need to kill me, you need to betray me and hand me over. That's the plan. Which is just like symbolic of like the Jews having to reject their Messiah to save the world, to save the Gentiles.
Out, okay? Okay?
Pontius Pilate at 10 o'clock.
Give me that thing!
This
Pontius Pilate, 10
Christmas,
o'clock.
the meek shall inherit the action.
Don't worry, he'll be back.
Oh, should have knew that was coming.
What?
Terminator 3. The greatest action story ever told. Bless this film.
The greatest lie ever sold. That was Mad TV. Not bad. Not bad. Pretty good. I like the message. If you had a time machine, would you go back to save Jesus? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. You need him to die. And then to sit around and complain about that all day. Yeah, the greatest lie ever sold. That's how I open my book. The greatest story ever told. No, it's the greatest lie ever sold. The greatest kosher salesman, Saul the Pharisee. Here's Steve Quayle. See Through It All has gone through and digging and watching all this old Steve Quayle stuff. And he's just, every interview is him begging for Russia to nuke America because we're so evil and satanic. This guy's got a Messiah
God will
obsession.
use Russia.
Messiah obsession. Like, how many lions? I think this guy's into lions. What do you think? Lion of the tribe of Judah? Jewish lion?
God will use Russia to punish the United States. It's not that Russia's morally superior, although they are in some areas. They're not the ones saying we're fighting against God. We don't want God. I mean, they're fighting for the Western Orthodox Church. I believe Russia has been raised.
What? There's not a bunch of Christians in America that believe in God? What's church attendance in America, which isn't that high, compared to Russia, I wonder? Like, they always act like America's just some like atheistic, super secular, like it's been dominated by Christians for a lot of our history. So I don't even know what he's talking about. Yeah, he's a liar. Gen 6 Giants, right. Hagman report. He used to be on InfoWars all the time too. Hagman. He had a son. I think his son died from like a drug overdose or heart attack or something.
Orthodox Church. I believe Russia has been raised up to judge America. We are seeing, Doug, the literal unfolding of all the evil with Jim Caviezel and the others in child sex trafficking, your recent guest. I believe this is God's...
Jim Caviezel? Oh, QAnon and Save the Children? And all the Pizzagate pedo networks? Jim Caviezel? Well, what was that movie too? It turned out that the guy that he played ended up being some like corrupt, or he had his own big scandal too. Yeah, I'm sure there's no prostitution and rapes in Russia ever. That doesn't happen. There's no prostitution rings. There's no abortion. There's no extramarital sex. There's no rape. There's none of that stuff in Russia. Only the evil West.
Sex trafficking, your recent guest. I believe this is God's final resting his case against the former United States, which is now being, I'd say, revealed to be what's been all along, and that's Mystery Babylon.
Babylon is the enemy in Revelation. It's representing Rome, as Edom represents Rome, so one and the same. Babylon is the evil Gentile empire that persecuted the Jews and had the Jews in captivity, right? It's another villain enemy of the Jews in the Bible, and that's how he's framing America, as Babylon. So Babylon needs to be destroyed. You name it Babylon, keeps it. That's a kosher critique, wanting America to be destroyed.
Is now being, I'd say, revealed to be what's been all along, and that's Mystery Babylon. The bottom line is, I believe we are Mystery Babylon. We have become a habitation of devils and every unclean spirit. And in 1 hour, we disappear. And that's just about the time when we provoke Russia. I don't know where Russia's breaking point is, but I gotta tell you something. We're doing our best to facilitate the United States, not you and I, Mike Adams, and Steve. We're doing our best as a nation.
Oh, Mike Adams, another big Putin shill that's always on InfoWars.
To engage in a nuclear confrontation that we cannot win, and we can't win against one. especially Russia, or to China, or throw in Iran if you want. In essence, we have made enemies of everybody. And America, I ask people, tell me one ally that still trusts us.
But by supporting Ukraine against the Russian invasion, this is all the West's fault, the evil West's fault, no matter what, huh? Putin can lie and say he doesn't want to invade and then invade anyway. And then we support an ally who got invaded by one of our adversaries. And oh, it's our fault. No, I don't buy. That's Russian propaganda that the West forced him to. Oh, NATO's going to be on their borders. So then he invades and then they're also still on the border and just more angry. That doesn't make any sense. That's Russian propaganda. Nate Live says this guy is crazy. Yeah, he belongs in a mental institution / in prison.
Or throw in Iran if you want. In essence, we have made enemies of everybody. And America, I ask people, tell me one ally that still trusts us. It's not Japan. They're dumping
England?
T-bills, bonds, and notes. When the whole
England, France, Germany, a bunch of other countries. What's he talking about?
world rejects the American dollar, ladies and gentlemen, there's going to be no place, any place, that's going to like the word American. Before God.
Why are they celebrating this like it's a good thing too, in God's wrath? If our financial system collapses, middle and lower class Americans are going to be devastated and go into a depression and have mass inflation and empty shelves and starvation. And he celebrates all this. He wants Putin to do all of this and America to collapse because ball bank accounts or because of Jim Caviezel movies.
Allows Russia and China to destroy the United States in a nuclear attack. He's going to reveal the sins of the leaders to the people.
Yeah, also, Nate Live, thank you. Yeah, Putin also said before his position was Ukraine's independent sovereign state. They're allowed to join whatever military alliances they want. They can join NATO. That was his position at one point. It's okay if they join NATO. At least he said that publicly. I don't think they ever really were okay with that. But that's what he said publicly. Another lie.
And the people sins before a holy God.
Woe unto the nation that forgets God. This is a nation that openly declared war on the living God.
What are you talking about, dude? Does it seem like our government has declared war on God? Or are they shoving God down our throats? The anti-Christian task force and Trump shilling his Bible and them at the White House reading out the whole Bible and them always doing all the Christian organization stuff. This gaslighting like America is like some secular atheist nation that's like hell-bent on destroying Christianity, especially our politics, is just a pipe dream.
Our Democrats and then those spineless Republicans. Look, I'm telling you, anybody would have to be a fool that thinks they can fight God and win, and yet this is a nation that continues to fight God and...
Thank you. Thank you, Johan. We didn't come close to the goal yesterday. Very depressing. So hopefully today, maybe we'll have to impose the $5 small hat challenge, 5 shekel challenge for you guys.
We are a nation,
otherwise you're not allowed to watch.
Demon possessed, given over to the judgment of Almighty God, and he's going to use Russia for it. And isn't it interesting? Putin gets all this flack. President Putin gets all this flack, and he's trying to preserve the Western family, the gay and the LGBTQ and the entire woke movement hate Russia. And
hey, they always do this too. You realize like half of America is against woke. It's not like nobody's against woke and everybody's pro drag queen story hour. Like that's the extreme left. Okay. Just because we have an extreme left, we have more liberal democracy and freedom in America. Along with that freedom comes some of these crazy leftists. Okay. We need to keep them in check. They've encroached too far. But the idea that like the vast majority of the country and middle America and all Republicans aren't against all of this stuff. So just because there's some of this stuff going on in our country, all of the country needs to be destroyed by God.
and the entire woke movement hate Russia, and Putin is saying to the Russian people, look, have a family. And he's fighting, and this is interesting. The United States used to be down.
Oh my God, Putin is amazing, guys. He says have a family. Nobody ever says that in the West. Nobody would know to have families in the West if not for Putin to tell us. What would we do? Putin is saving humanity. Thank you. Putin is really saving humanity. He's really, like, what would the West do without Putin to say have a family? Isn't that amazing? I've never heard anybody in the West ever say have a family before. That is incredible. God bless Putin. Wow.
He's fighting, and this is interesting. The United States used to be down on Russia when it was communist Stalin, and I understand all that. But now you've got Putin being vilified because he won't go along with the West perversion. And
that's not what it is, dude. Talk about a way to misframe it. No, the problem is the subversion and active measures and propaganda that they're doing in the West, and mostly the invasion of Ukraine. That's what the issue is. Not that he's not putting up with the LGBTQ agenda. That's such horseshit.
I'm not Russian Orthodox, by the way, but the patriarch of the Russian Orthodox Church said, and I couldn't agree, profound statement. God has written Ichabod over the doors of America.
It is all a disgusting, demonic joke at this point. I mean, any rational person looking at this.
Oh, the ball bank, right? Mike Adams, the ball bank account and the beef jerky. He pushes all that shit. He pushes all the usual kosher, Russian, controlled op Christian slop. Always. Oh, it's so demonic and satanic and evil and Baal and Moloch and
have to reach, I think, a similar conclusion to what we've reached is that this Western civilization is done. There's no coming back from it.
We're done. It's over. Your empire's over. That's all they ever say. Just ad nauseum. Echoing that nonstop. It's over. It's over. It's over. You're over. Crazy. Look at this. 5% of Russians attend weekly or more versus 25% of Americans attend church. These guys all pretend like they're America first and they're a pro-American patriots, and all they're ever doing is glazing our adversaries and shitting on America. And it would be one thing if their criticisms were all like true and legit, but they're lying. They're lying and they're being deceptive and they're spinning things. That's what makes it even more egregious. Time for a super mix of all these people calling for the destruction of America.
God will use Russia to punish the United States. It's not that Russia's morally superior, although they are in some areas. They're not the ones saying we're fighting against God. We don't want God. I mean, they're fighting for the Western Orthodox Church. God will use Russia to punish the United States.
Yeah. Russia does stuff in the name of God. The Muslims do something in the name of God. The Jews are acting in the name of God. The Christians in America are acting in the name of God. It's just one big Judeo-Abrahamic circle jerk. So the super mix.
We are just drifting farther and farther away from God, and God help us. That, what can you say? Pray for these people, because we are absolutely going astray as a nation. And, you think Putin will liberate us? I don't even know what to say.
Listen,
I'm shocked.
Listen, that is perfectly fair for us to say. People are going to be like, my goodness, what are you, like, bunch of pro-Pootler? Bunch of Pootlers? Because they like to quantify it. And I'll tell you this.
I wish we had a leader.
We are Christians that we hear a world leader talk about the Holy Scriptures, not in a manner that's denigrating.
Yeah, dude, because, Putin loves the Bible. Like, our politicians aren't always talking about the Bible and Jesus. This makes no sense. Putin's going to save us because he doesn't denigrate the Bible. Hey, who in our politics, what politician, Ed, is denigrating the Bible? Where have you seen that? What are you talking about? There's no widespread denigration of the Bible. In fact, all of the there's a systemic cover-up of how fake the Bible is.
That it's like a characteristic of an extremist or a terrorist. That's our government's position right now.
We are just
that same group of Satanists that overthrew the Russian people in 1917, that's what controls America today. That spirit right there is what is destroying the United States of America, destroying our freedom, destroying our culture. That spirit right there. That's what's making war against Russia. They overthrew it. They got free. They got out from under its bondage.
Is that why the KGB controlled up Russian Orthodox Church, Jew-worshipping church, and Chabad Lubavitch and Islam are the dominant religions there because they're free from the Jews? Really? Really? I don't buy it, Rick.
And so who's under its bondage now? The American people.
Right.
We're under the bondage of that same satanic spirit. Who attacks us? Who's always attacking us?
Zionists.
The Zionists. There's nobody else attacking me. Zionists. That's not every Jewish person. It's the Zionists. It's the satanic Zionists. They are satanic. That same...
Satanic? No, they're Yahwehic. Rick, they worship Yahweh. They're not Khazars. They're Jews that believe in the Torah, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and worship Yahweh. Thank you, Eru.
Humanity needs to be free of Abrahamic nonsense.
I know. That's what I'm trying to do with your guys' help. That's the goal. That's my life's duty, my life's calling. It's a God thing. Thank you, Eru.
They're nice.
Very nice, Eru. Getting us going. Appreciate you, bro.
Same group of Satanists that overthrew the Russian people in 1917. That's what...
Satanists. Here's Harrison Smith.
I mean, we have fallen. Here's an idea. Can Vladimir Putin invade us already? Can he free us from these people? Please, for the love of God, can we get Russia to come into America and free us from this tyranny, please?
Crazy how they're all saying this shit. I love how they're saying this now, too, like they didn't get Trump totally wrong. They were all Trump's biggest backers, and we all tried to warn him how much of a Zionist he was. They didn't want to listen. They wanted no part of it. And then they help him get in, and then now they're like, oh, he was a Zionist. He's a synagogue of Satan Zionist, and Epstein, and Malbal, and all this shit, right? But now they still think they're right about Putin. They were wrong about Trump, but they're right about Putin. They were wrong about Trump, but they're right about Putin and Jesus. No, I don't think so, dude. Putin's not going to save you, bro. Look at the Russian Orthodox Church, or the Ortho Bros, what they're saying, too, about prophecies destroying in America. There's no daylight between these guys and rabbis, Kabbalah rabbis that want to destroy Edom. Why is this not playing? Let's try this one.
The consensus from the elders and saints that I've read is that America is going to be really troubled by economic collapse, internal strife, and geological or climatic events, more so than a direct global war confrontation on American soil. It's more that America is going to collapse due to itself.
And behind that, besides the prophetic literature, there's just a basic teaching of the spiritual laws. If you export sin and you become the Babylon of the modern world,
there it is again too. America is the Babylon, disaster in America. These ortho bros and their prophecies framing America as the evil satanic Babylon of the West that needs to be destroyed by God, by Russia. These Russian ortho bros. The Duganist multipolar agenda that Alex Jones is pushing, that Tucker's pushing, that lots of people are pushing.
Babylon fell. Rome fell. America will fall. The empires fall. And when they
see, just like Zelensky was right to ban the Russian Orthodox Church in Ukraine after they invaded, we should, if our government wasn't controlled by Zionists and there wasn't something fishy going on with this false Abrahamic Russian Zionist dialectic, These guys should be shut down. I've been calling for a while that the Russian Orthodox Church should be shut down in America. Nate Live, I knew you'd like that take. Yeah, they should be shut down. They are spy networks. They are anti-American subversion, defectors, traitors, treasonous. How much more before that's what we call it?
Fall, it's very, very problematic. It's very disturbing. But there will also be, in addition to that, they'll pay the spiritual price for their iniquity for so many years, exporting iniquity all throughout the world. It makes sense on a basic level. Now, what it will be is in the realm of some speculation, but it makes sense that there'll be difficult days for America.
Right.
Oh, poor America. Your prophecies. You're so evil. Exporting sin. Oh, all the world's. You're to blame for all the ills of the world, white man, Western kind. Can you hear this stuff? Yeah, ideally ban all churches. You're right. Not just the Russian Orthodox Church. Yeah. Zionist ones too. Catholic ones too, for sure. Yeah. We can dream. We can dream, right, guys? Look, see through it all. Christianity must be removed from all Western nations now. It is a national security threat.
You know, this right here.
These are the guys we're supposed to ally with?
You know, this right here, America will be
hey, just stop calling Jesus Jewish and saying it's fake and attacking Christians. Like, we all got to unite, and then we'll worry about the theological differences once we win. Meanwhile, the other side is like, America's got to fall. There's no point in saving it. We're evil and satanic, and Putin should destroy us. And they're like, Russian propaganda? What are you, Rachel Maddow? There's no such thing as Russian propaganda.
Completely destroyed. And 90% of its citizens will be killed. There's something similar with Elder Vasilios Katsoukalidis on the first page, where he says up there, it will not have life at all. Not here, not there, not at all. It will turn off, whatever that's not a good translation. But from weather phenomena, from diseases, from vengeance of other countries, because they are the cause of evil that happens to humanity, the worst will happen. Why did they not repent? Okay, so
he's reading from his Moscow church. My fathers in the Russian Orthodox Church, prophecies regarding America. The Russian Orthodox Church sees America as the evil, satanic antichrist that needs to be destroyed in the end times. Just exactly like the Kabbalah rabbis. Imagine that. And hey, Chabad and the Kabbalah rabbis seem real powerful and influential and close with Putin and Trump and Likud and Netanyahu. His prophecies is how they destroy us.
It doesn't jive with, in my reading, there will be massive destruction. I've heard this multiple times, like we already said, that America is absolutely, as a collective, whole, and as the leadership of America, and all this, we could talk about this for a long time, is responsible the world over for terrible things, exporting immorality, exporting.
The West is responsible for everything bad in the world. Is the West's fault. The Russian propaganda, they're all about blaming the British Empire for everything also.
We talked about this last night, actually, in our live stream about Revelation, about the basically the corruption of all humanity through the Babylon, right? Which is America's a kind of Babylon, kind of Rome, and
see, even calls us Rome too, Babylon and Rome. That's destroyed in the Jewish scriptures. That's destroyed in Revelation in the Christian scriptures. Isn't that great?
Exporting, trafficking and pornography and all that stuff. This is a huge reason why there's going to be World War III.
Yeah, there's no trafficking. Yeah, only white Westerners do trafficking of women. Yeah, they'll team up with all these Muslims like they don't have rape gangs. Yeah, there's no prostitution rings in Russia. Only America. I can't believe these guys. Just pure ideological demoralization, destabilization, active measures by all these Russian assets and useful idiots and like paid agents, Russophile, Vatniks.
Huge reason why there's going to be World War III. There's a guy like the most recent flowering of holiness in the church in Greece says that there's three main causes for World War III. And one is the sexual perversity, both in marriage and mainly in marriage among Christians. And then, of course, all the rest that's outside of marriage. The occultism and the sorcery and the magic and all the rest. Yep. And then abortion. Sorcery,
occultism, and magic. Because all that's totally real. The real concern, more people talking about the demons. And then he says abortion too. America needs to be destroyed because of abortion. Because that's what America needs. Way more unwanted, unplanned, irresponsible parents having kids for the system to be a burden on the system. Hey, more dysgenic, low, unwanted babies. Great.
Those are the three main causes. I would throw in heresy and distortion of the body of Christ and ecumenism. But in any case, the fact that America has been the great Satan, to take the Ayatollah Khomeini's words. I mean, it's kind of, even coming from an Aryan and a delusional leader of Islam. He's right. I mean, America has exported debauchery for decades.
The great Satan, just like the Kabbalah rabbis say, we're Edom, we're Esau, guardian angel of Samael, satanic and darkness, the Klippa, the darkness, the Sitra Achra, all that same shit. They're saying all the same shit, and they're making it up. They're blowing things out of proportion and misrepresenting the reality.
Decades. And the world over says this is the source of so much. So will there be a price to pay? Absolutely. We have to be, the spiritual laws are at work because there's no repentance. There's no repentance. Now, if there was massive repentance, like in the days of Nineveh, there would be no destruction. But to say that there will be no life at all, I mean, that is to such an extreme degree. It doesn't jive with what I just said about the monasteries and the people coming back to the faith and all that after the war. And this is a prophecy that after the war, there's going to be a rejuvenation, or at least a maintaining of the faith among certain Orthodox, among the monasteries and all the rest. So no life at all at the end of the war. It just seems to be like maybe there's a miscommunication, or maybe there's something wrong, or maybe that's meant to bring about repentance and it won't happen. I don't know.
This is the guy that was hanging out when they recorded that documentary of Tucker Carlson talking about how he got attacked by demons. Crazy to me how more people,
by the way,
aren't why more people aren't outraged by this bullshit like I am.
By the way, Ukraine is the most godless, God-hating, New World Order, satanic embracing nation, and they're now making war on the Orthodox Church there.
Okay, wait a second, but you're
making war on the Orthodox Church. You mean the Russian Orthodox Church that works for Putin, that just invaded the KGB approved Russian Orthodox Church? Oh, they're godless. There's more Christians, higher rate of church attendance in Christians in Ukraine than in Russia.
You're talking about the Ukraine regime, not the people of Ukraine.
Yeah, the government. I'm sorry.
The government. Yeah.
I thank you for correcting me. And by the way, Ukraine is the most godless. It's interesting because
shout out See Through It All for finding all of these, by the way.
In the book of Revelation, it talks about Mystery Babylon. I believe the United States is Mystery Babylon, and no nation buys her goods any longer. Well, obviously, we have to put into perspective, this is the nation that, number one, declared war on God, the Democrats, and the spineless Republicans, but more importantly is embracing Satanism, is embracing witchcraft, it's embracing LGBTQXYZ, it's embracing everything. Now, let me ask you this, Greg. As a Christian, President Putin is saying you need Western Christianity. You need the family structure. You don't sexually mutilate kids, and we will not allow the entire...
Dude, there's no right-wing politicians in the West that are saying these things. What kind of crazy does he really think this, or does he know that he's just purposely trying to trick everybody and misrepresent? Just completely black and white, light switch brain, no nuance at all. Putin good, West satanic and evil, complete black and white.
Deranged, LGBTQXYZ, I'm just throwing those in, XYZ, in case there's something I don't know about that's coming along. And so that is a heinous thing to the Luciferian globalists that are represented by Klaus Schwab and Yuval Harari and the others.
Yeah, they're probably atheist and don't believe in Lucifer, and you just call them Luciferian anyway. It's what they usually do.
Patriarch Kirill is who's the head of the Orthodox Church.
The equivalent to the Pope.
Yes.
As drunk as I am, I know these bastards would flip on a dime when it serves their agenda.
I mean, they've already flipped. In fact, Rick has flipped on a dime. That years ago, he interviewed some guy on perestroika deception and the fake fall of the Soviet Union and how they're secret communists and their agenda to want to like the West to like lower our guard so they can infiltrate and subvert. He interviewed the guy on that, was going along with it, and then now it's forgot that ever happened.
Patriarch Kirill, who's the head of the Orthodox Church.
The equivalent to the Pope.
Yes.
For the Orthodox Church.
He called Putin the fighter against the Antichrist. Can you think of anybody in the world that a church leader has said, that man is anointed by God to oppose and make war against the Antichrist?
Yeah, they all say that about Trump. John Hagee says that about every right-wing politician that supports Israel. Dude, hey, the KGB, Russian Orthodox Church, said Putin is anointed by God to destroy the Antichrist West. Wow. Wow. I'm convinced.
Can you think of anybody, Doc?
No.
He basically anointed Putin to take on the Antichrist.
Rancho sent $5.
He basically
Satanism used as a catch-all term is such a problem.
I know. Like, they'll call us satanic, and it's like, dude, Satan is a mythical Jewish boogeyman. We don't believe in Satan. Anything that's not their version of Christianity, satanic, according to these people. So Satan's real, so Jesus must be real. That's the loop, the circle that they're stuck in.
Anointed Putin to take on the Antichrist.
Crazy.
The beast. Where is the beast centered?
America?
They are implying that the United States and Western Europe is...
See, not Israel. They don't say it's Israel. They say it's America. They blame what is happening in Gaza on America, not on Jewish supremacy. They'll never criticize Judaism. It's Zionism, has nothing to do with Judaism. They're not even Jews. They're fake Khazars, and they don't believe in the Torah, and it's Baal and Moloch. That's what they do. They're all running cover and circling the wagons for what's going on.
The beast. Right. That we are the Antichrist system. And I wouldn't argue with them. This means, Doc, that at the highest levels of the Russian political and military leadership, they are having discussions with Patriarch Kirill and other church leaders about the end of the world. So what is America doing that makes the Russian leaders think that we're the devil?
We're doing devil things.
You got it. We're doing devil things. We're doing hellish things. Our behavior.
Yeah, they're doing it. Our government's ran by Judeo-Christians doing stuff in the name of the Bible and Yahweh. Whether you disagree or not, that is their inspiration, not some secret allegiance to Baal and Moloch. That's absolutely ridiculous. And the KGB approved billionaire leader of the Russian Orthodox Church says Putin's anointed. What do you think he's going to say? Putin's an evil dictator and the West is in the right? Is that what you expect him to say?
The Orthodox Church is the only institution in Russia whose hierarchy has survived the collapse of communism, wholly unchanged.
9 macrometer sent $50.
Thank you, macrometer.
Between large powers is like movable.
Yeah, every time. Holy war against the West. That's what these people are in cahoots with the Kabbalah rabbis, the Russian Orthodox Church, in a holy war against the West.
Alexei II, the 70-year-old leader of the church, was elected patriarch in 1990, having made a brilliant career in Soviet times, which showed that the KGB approved of him. Throughout the Soviet Union, priests had to work with the KGB. It was not necessarily active collaboration, more a willingness to play along with the secular authorities. Alexei's KGB code name was Drozdov, thrush, a singing bird.
church in the Soviet time had relations with the government, but the style of these relations was organized not by church and not from the church.
Abraham Matrix sent $5 on Rumble. I think it would benefit the exposure of Russian propaganda by the more specific Judeo-Russian propaganda. Russians never took back their country since the Bolsheviks. How Biden Jewish oligarch ran.
Yep, that's an important element of it for sure. Hopefully people can wrap their head around that.
The government organized a spatial system of relations between church and state. And two government organizations took part in this process, the Council for Religion and KGB. And for the religion leaders in that time, there was only one chance.
Putin KGB, Russian Orthodox Church KGB. Once KGB, always KGB.
There was only one possibility to have a dialogue with government, to have a dialogue with KGB and the Council for Religions.
Metropolitan Kirill, Alexei's number 2 and Bishop of Smolensk, also had a KGB codename, Mikhailov. At grassroots level, some priests turned into spies who were prepared to fabricate denunciations. But the KGB was not all bad. At the top of the tree, bishops like Kirill worked to bolster Russian interests abroad, helping to swing the World Council of Churches behind Soviet foreign policy. Kirill is a pragmatist who has learnt to work with any regime to advance his cause, the redemption of mankind through the Orthodox faith. Just as the church was bitterly criticized for collaborating with the KGB, it can now be criticized for playing along with Russia's gangster capitalism.
Our values, everything about our society, entertainment, education, business, it's demonic, it's satanic.
Oh, here's the Russian Orthodox Patriarch Kirill with Shimon Peres in Jerusalem. And Putin goes and kisses the wall too, of course.
And Putin is looking at America.
But it's not when our politicians go and kiss the wall and condemn anti-Semitism and go after Nazis, it's kosher and you're satanic. But when Putin does it, it's based in trad.
And the West, and saying, whatever has taken over that country, it's...
The Abraham Matrix sent $5 on Rumble. It would be more receptive to those on the right since it's not just a blanket blame of Russians.
Yeah.
Most on the right have immediate blowback because of the recent left-wing anti-Russia sentiment.
Yeah, I know. That was like the Russia-Trump investigation, though. We're not even talking about that. This is way different.
As long as the clergy conforms to the state politic, they're accepted as truth-tellers.
So true.
It's demonic.
And we have to fight it.
And we have to fight it because they're trying to take over the world and make the whole world think like them. They see us as evil. Most of them are afraid to say it. The Russians, something's happened in just recent weeks. The Russians have come to the place of saying, let's just say it. Let's just say it. We're fighting the devil. Let's get real. We're not fighting NATO. We're fighting the devil. We're fighting the Antichrist system.
See?
And they're saying it now. But you know what else? They're calling on God. They're calling on God to help them, to empower.
Oh, America never prays to God, though. The Jews, they never pray to God. No, God is on the side of Putin and the Russians, totally.
They're calling on the name of Jesus Christ to defend them and to fight for them.
So does
That's
Pete
not
Hegseth.
happening in America because America is against Jesus Christ.
You said it, Rick. We are. Because we
Really?
live for Christ, we live for Christ, right?
Not real Christians.
If we were living for Christ, we would be in unity with the Russians. So...
Aber Bumper sent $30 been every trying to figure out what religion I'm Moshiach and so I can demand to be led on podcasts and schizophrenically ramble.
You should start a TikTok. Moshiach? You're the Moshiach? I believe you. Well, I don't believe you, but a lot of other people probably will believe you. Abraham Matrix, thank you.
Matrix sent $5 on Rumble. I agree it's different, but morons on the right just reflex shut down on anything in their eyes that seems like anti-Russian sentiment. Al.
They do. They've been programmed by the Russia network that there's no such thing as, there's no Russian agents and no Russian propaganda anywhere now. That's how brainwashed. That's how, the Russian propaganda has been effective. That's where they've got people's minds at these days.
The spiritual leader of Russia is telling the rank and file church members, we may have to die to stop this satanic United States of America. He's preparing them. He's preparing them for nuclear war.
Yes.
He's saying, America is so wicked, we may have to die so that this evil force is stopped. It's really time for Christians in every country to come to the aid of the Russians. It really is.
Yeah, you're going to cause hair to raise up on a lot of people's necks right there with that statement. You know
I
that,
don't
right?
care. I don't care. They're standing against the godlessness of the United States of America. And we are godless.
You should move to Russia, Rick. Save yourself from the Russian nukes.
$5 on Rumble. These clowns promoting their faith-based geopolitics provide no evidence, get no pushback at all.
I mean, I try. I don't get much help, though. That's for sure. Dude, I'm looking for the best clip ever where the Russian Orthodox Church guy says, like, yeah, my Russian Orthodox father says, like, don't even try to save America. America isn't important. Doesn't matter to try to prevent America from being destroyed. Hey, check out Kremlin Wars. Matt Bracken.
The higher you go up in this satanic pedophile cult, the worse the crime you have to commit to get to the next level. The massage is just the entry level thing, but eventually you're requesting the jerky, which is cannibal meat from kidnapped children or missing children. There's no bottom to this. And the higher you go up, closer towards that power, the worst things that you're going to see and participate.
There's so little evidence that there's some weird satanic cults running everything that they have to make up stuff about beef jerky being baby meat when it's clearly beef jerky.
And I think this is why it's many people have said the full disclosure of the Epstein files could bring down the governments of the West. It's certainly threatening to bring down the government. And
Putin was named in the files a bunch too. Why not bring down Putin also? Only the West.
Macrometer sent $5. 66% to 80% of Russia identifies as Christian. Church attendance is 2% to 15%.
Sounds trad and based to me. Based and trad pilled. Flynn and Alex Jones.
Care about getting rid, it save the kids too, but it's about removing this evil satanic group. We want them. I'm telling you, I know every American talker says
removing the evil satanic group, Trump, that you've been both shilling for 10 years. It's like, if you've been that wrong for 10 years, maybe you should just like sit this one out.
Would eat dog food for 10 years to remove these
Break the system, break the system apart, break it apart. When the political masters that we have, from the White House over to the Congress, when they are controlled by a demonic, satanic cult, which is an intelligence operation to compromise people so they will make decisions that they are being told to make, not on our behalf, but on the behalf of some other satanic, demonic cult.
How many times is he going to say it? Satanic, demonic, satanic, demonic. All right, I got to go run and take care of something real quick, guys. I'm going to play this. I'll be right back, I promise. And we'll keep going. This is a Johnny Gat doc. Putin
There has been no justice in Russia for the crimes of communism.
Moreover, there is no proof that the huge KGB structure that had infiltrated the whole world has been dissolved. And even assuming it has been dissolved, the consequences of the communist-inspired propaganda and moral subversion of the West have not been suppressed anyway. They continue to develop and to spread because there has been no repentance, no examination of conscience, either in Russia or in the West, in the case of the communist agents and useful idiots that have served and still serve as accomplices of the moral and physical destruction inspired by Marxism. The Russian government is anything but Christian.
If the Soviet Union did legitimately collapse, why is Russian intelligence continuing to do exactly what KGB defectors said they were going to do?
He's nostalgic about the old days because he comes from there and he brought with him the guys from the service. Well, let me tell you, it's not a secret. From, well, the figures differ, but up to 70% of current government employees in senior positions in Russia are former, either KGB officers or guys who performed special services for the KGB. Because Russia is on the move. It hasn't finished its cycle, historic cycle, but it's a fact that after Yeltsin's anarchy, after Gorbachev's lack of decision-making, resolve, we entered the time when the guys who belong to the old school, but again, as I say, not as criminal, not as vicious as before, they are running the country.
Some of you might say, oh, but Putin denounced communism. Yes, after being in the Communist Party for 16 years, he conveniently denounced communism and embraced capitalism in 1991, just after the Soviet Union officially collapsed.
Is that those people who were in intelligence agencies, they knew that communism was coming to an end, and so they were preparing themselves for a bright new future of capitalism and personal enrichment. And of course, they had the networks.
Riebling carries out a careful analysis of Golitsyn's predictions in New Lies for Old, and he established that out of 148 falsifiable predictions, 139 had been verified by 1993. Now that, and he gave him an accuracy rating of over 94%. That is without parallel in the West. I mean, this puts Golitsyn in a separate category from everybody. Now, I think,
in other words, if Golitsyn is not telling, the truth about
everybody has to explain why these predictions were correct.
If he's not telling the truth about the fact that all that we have witnessed since 1989 was planned as Soviet disinformation strategy, going back this far, then he has to be a prophet. He has to be a clairvoyant.
Either he has to have supernatural powers.
He has to have supernatural powers.
Or he has to understand Soviet strategy.
That's right.
And of course the answer is the latter.
Yes.
The brutal methods of communism were not working out, and in 1984, KGB defector Anatoly Golitsyn wrote that the Soviet Union would soon collapse. It would also convince the world that communism was a thing of the past in order to lull the West into lowering their defenses. It would then build diplomatic relations with the West and increase influence through trade. This strategy has been absolutely successful. Western Europe is now largely dependent on Russia for natural gas. Russia's influence globally is much better now than it was during the Soviet Union.
Moving on, most people despise Stalinist because they believe he was a globalist, but that is not true at all.
Stalin was a nationalist because he opposed Truman and Churchill's plan for a world government. This is primarily what started the Cold War.
So anyway, Stalin did something good, though. Stalin was trying to wrest control away from the Jews. Didn't he succeed to some point? And Khrushchev wasn't particularly pro-Jew.
He started the process because before his death, he started removing a lot of these other Jews, except for a few. He realized that in the beginning he couldn't go against all the Jews because he realized they had so much power and they would probably go against them. But he did it piecemeal. And there seemed to be this progress. And then by the time of his death, a lot of Russians were in very key positions. And even though the Jews were able to kill Stalin, they really couldn't stop this kind of Russian retaking of their own government. But they were really in a transition from a communist Jewish-run country to a nationalist Russian-run country.
Yet American journalists who were trying to appease, to please their hosts, presented this picture on the centerfold as the symbol and personification of Soviet national, they call it Russian national spirit. And it was greatest misconception and a very tragic misunderstanding. Of course, Look magazine was not distributed in USSR. The main audience was in the United States. But I presume that many Americans, millions of Americans who were reading Look magazine at that time, had absolutely wrong idea about the sentiments of my nation, about what the Soviets are proud of and what they hate.
But they were really in a transition from a communist Jewish-run country to a nationalist Russian-run country. And that's once that occurred, that's when you had the shift in the Cold War, when the Russians went from our allies and from these Jews in America protecting Russia and defending Russia to the point where Russia became our enemy, because they knew this transition. The Jews themselves knew it.
David Duke promotes the conspiracy theory that Russians kicked Jews out of the Soviet government and that the Cold War happened because Jews hate Russia. In reality, Israel was neutral in the Cold War. Israel was trading Western technology and intelligence to the Soviets throughout the Cold War. The two factions had a great relationship and still do. He also claims that they are doing everything they can to sanction and destroy Russia. Again, Israel is not sanctioning Russia for its annexation of Crimea. Here's further proof that Duke is lying through his teeth. At the WWN's founding conference run by Jewish oligarch Boris Spiegel, a choir sang, "We'll come back with victory. The Red Army is the strongest." Some of them are still loyal to the Soviet Union and want to help Putin rebuild it. Duke is claiming that Jews hate Russia in order to present Putin as anti-establishment, so you can look to him as your savior. He also claims that Jews hate Trump and presents him as anti-establishment. Sadly, there are retarded people out there who believe this.
I believe that Donald Trump, the goy, knows. The goy knows. In a brilliant move, Trump strikes back at the Jewish power elite out to destroy him. By simply recognizing Jerusalem as the capital of the Jewish state, President Trump has struck a mighty blow against the criminal Jewish supremacist state of Israel. But Donald Trump may have done the ultimate deep chess, or
I'm back,
what they call 3D chess move. Trump is fighting right now for his life, and he knows who the attacks against Trump are coming from, and they just don't want to remove him from office. They want to destroy.
Yeah, he just showed Rick Wiles too. Remember, Rick Wiles was saying forever, "Oh, it's a Jew coup. The Jews are coming after Trump." Like the Jews don't love Trump.
Him, his sons, his family, his life.
All right, that's Johnny Gat's Putin Savior documentary. See, really miss Johnny. Wonder, Johnny, if you're out there, come back, bro. Come back. Come back. We need you.
America will become meriki in Greek, which is hard to translate, but it means it'll be like destroyed into pieces. It'll be cut into pieces. It'll become like not whole anymore. Okay. Right. Now, what does that mean? That's interpreted by, I think, Metropolitan Theophilus and others as meaning there will be physical destruction. I think there's another prophecy that says the physical destruction will be on the coasts of America, which makes a lot of sense to a lot of Americans. But yeah, in any case, there'll be a physical destruction. I think there's a prophecy here from a Russian saying there'll be a total destruction of America. Like nothing will be left.
Yeah.
You know, this right here, America will be completely destroyed and 90% of its citizens will be killed. There's something similar with Elder Vasilios Katsukalitis on the first page, where he says up there, it will not have life at all. Not here, not there, not at all. It will turn off. It will turn off.
Just like the rabbis.
Yeah. Translation, but from weather phenomena, from diseases, from vengeance of other countries, because they are the cause of evil that happens to humanity. The worst will happen. Why did they not repent?
Okay. Sent $5 the media. Fed and city government attacks on Trump for 8 years was a psyop to make Christians and moderates sympathetic because the attacks focused on red herrings. Now the Christians don't think Russia uses A, also see US bad, Russia good.
Yep. Very true. Very true. Thank you.
There are multiple videos of Orthodox rabbis out of Israel. Yeah, that subject again, I know. But they're calling for the destruction of the West, which they say is the biblical Edom. And they're also calling for the destruction of what they're calling Amalek. Amalek in the Hebrew means doubters or like infidel non-believers. So my concern there is like the World Zionist Congress, you know, since the late 1800s, they've been convening, and the protocols of Zion, all that junk. And all of this stuff that they've mentioned in all of these minutes at these meetings and diets, these things are being carried out right now. And a lot of us on this end are concerned that these people are doing it, and that's why we're all like the Jews. So, I mean, they say they hate Christ. They want to attack Christians and destroy Christianity. They want to take the land and rob us. What do we do? You know, I mean, I don't want to hate on everybody, but it's kind of hard when you have specific groups that are now taking over everything, targeting a bunch of us normal people who aren't doing anything wrong.
Well, there's no doubt the ADL is painting all opposition to the global government as anti-Semitic, which is not my perspective and not my goal. But, I mean, it's open for debate because Elon Musk is obviously not anti-Semitic, neither is Trump. And the ADL says, well, you're not supporting all this. We're going to come after you. I'm going to ask Jay Dyer. He's already loaded for bear. He always does an incredible job. I always eat my lunch on Friday and listen to him. We're going to come back in 1 minute, though, and I'm going to ask Jay Dyer his view on this and the dialectic, and then he'll take over.
I think the head of the New World Order ultimately is Lucifer, is Satan. And if you look at, you know, the modern nation state of Israel post Balfour and Sykes-Picot, this was really something that the British government helped to set up.
British government always about demonizing the globalists, the Bilderberg, the royals, the British Empire, America, CIA. That's what this. He's Rogue Corps too. He's Russian Orthodox Church. He worked for Russian propaganda think tanks.
Proxy that they could set up in the Middle East to run operations, and that's why we see that eventually the nation of Israel that's reestablished then gets tired of the British having, you know, been their rulers there, and then there's bombings and so forth that moves them towards
exactly just like Hitler and Stalin turned on each other.
Yeah, exactly. They're not with them. They bombed them, and they're not under the control and just a proxy of the royal family. Man, I'm looking so deep for this. I have so many videos I posted on my Twitter. I'm looking so deep for this best clip. We're going to do a compilation of all these anti-American scumbags mixed in with Rabbi saying it, mixed in with John Hagee saying it, and Rabbi Jonathan Cahn. This is their best case scenario. Dude, why are none of my tabs playing right now?
Is it true that the Jews are going to accept the Antichrist as their Messiah? Well, some, apparently. He will attract, you know, leaders and people who call themselves Jews to him, according to the prophecies. He will try to and will succeed in rebuilding the temple and crowning himself in the temple. And he will be believed to be the Messiah by many. This is what's been prophesied and been told to us by those who have interpreted the scriptures. There will be Jews who will embrace Christ, and there are right now many Jews who are coming to Orthodoxy, and glory to God, because they have Christ and the apostles and the mother of God were Jews. And it's a tragedy when any of those who are descendants from the prophets and the saints and the apostles do not follow the Lord. So there will be Jews who will come increasingly before the end to Christ. There will be Jews who will follow the Antichrist. But that's kind of what will happen to a lot of people. So they're not unlike most of humanity.
See, best case scenario, Antichrist rules the world, America gets destroyed by Russia, and then Jesus floats down on a cloud and rules the world, according to Jewish prophecies. Okay, we can't work with that. We can't have tolerance for that type of Jewish, apocalyptic, prophetic mental illness. This popular Christian guy, TikToker, America's gonna fall. Nothing's playing. I have to refresh everyone.
Believe you me, after Trump, America is finished. It's not about Trump. I don't know the man. And I'm getting no benefits out of this anyway. Believe you me, I've never seen him. I've seen him on YouTube, whatever, here and there, bits and pieces. But I don't know him. But I'm telling you, Trump is the last one. Because after the trumpet will be blown. You know why America is going to fall? Which is the United Nations, yeah? 2 reasons. Because America is challenging God at the moment. It's challenging the Lord. It's going to fall for 2 reasons. One, internally. The other reason is externally. The internal reason, there will be traitors within America. There are traitors within the White House. There are traitors within the Pentagon. There are traitors within the governmental system. Traitors who have sold America. And the reason why these traitors came up on surface, because America walked away from the Lord. The Lord allowed them to be punished. To teach them that I'm in charge, not you.
See, we've fallen away from the Lord, so now we got to be punished. Same talking point from every one of these guys.
You think you can rule the world? It is the Lord who rules the world, not you.
So anti-American empire, hegemony, multipolar propaganda.
When you challenge me, I will allow infiltrators from within your circle to come and do wondrous things, destroy America. A lot of traitors are within America. And the external reason, it is the wrath of God. Jesus Christ will come very heavily on America.
The wrath of God destroying America. Who needs rabbis when you got Christians like this? Serious question.
But internally there is a lot of traitors. They literally sold it. You'll remember this. The day America goes, remember what's going to happen to the Christians. Very harsh.
So this is propaganda that's convincing Americans, Bible-believing Americans, that we're evil and we deserve punishment. Don't try to stop the decline of America. It's foretold. It's the prophecy. We deserve it. There's no fixing it. Just let it fall. That's the type of attitude they're trying to condition people to have.
Very harsh. But the problem with America, it will take the rest of the world with it when it goes down. And we read in verse 2, look at this. And he cried, the Lord, mightily with a loud voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, is fallen.
Again, Babylon, comparing us to Babylon, like they all do.
And when the Lord says it twice, he means that it is fallen. There is no 2 ways about it. There is no escape. It will fall because America doesn't want to repent. There are good Christians in America still, but it's diminishing.
I'm so mad I can't find this one. It was David Patrick Harry and some other Russian Orthodox Church dude, and he goes, yeah, we don't got to save America. America's got to fall. It's bothering me so much. All my searches. I search Grok. I did advanced Twitter search. I'm searching all my files. Too much stuff. I just can't keep up with all of it. Look at this. This is so crazy, all right? Talk about feeling vindicated. I talked to Alex Jones' son, Rex Jones, Monday morning. He didn't tweet anything about it, didn't put my name in the title, didn't share any of the clips. Tried to pretend like it didn't happen, is what it feels like. And I warned him about the Russian influence and all the Russia guests and the RT stuff. And then the very next day, he has on Russian agent, paid Russian commentator by Sputnik and RT, George Galloway. And then Harrison Smith is on RT with Ben Swan, another RT paid Russian agent, Ben Swan. And Alex Jones has on Victor Bout again, the Russian arms dealer. Jones almost, I said 10 a decade ago. It's 2008. It's almost 20 years ago. 18 years ago, Alex Jones was on RT promoting multipolar Dugin talking points.
You know, I really don't get tired of talking because we're warning people about very serious things that are happening in the world. We have the Anglo-American establishment based in England and the United States that has enslaved our people. And they are using our wealth, our military, our name to carry out this globalist empire, this unipolar world, instead of having a multipolar world.
There it is.
I really don't get tired of talking.
The American empire. We need a multipolar world. All of his anti-globalists and gatekeeping for the Israel issue, only now that they're able to try to link the Israel-Iran with the Russia-Ukraine are they opening up to have criticism of Jews. From James Folk, by the way, posted that. Dude, let's check out Owen Schroyer's. A new alliance of world power shifting, leaving America behind because we are a joke, a clown show. They're forming a new alliance of power. The West is collapsing. Putin has decided we are going to stand up and say enough of the corruption coming from the West. Yeah, because that's the issue, not just because they invaded Ukraine. He says Russian... Oh, no. I kind of like what Saudi Arabia
Bob
says.
Sent
Thank
$5
you, Bob.
Rex Jones is A.
I mean, he's in a tough spot. He's probably 20 years old. His dad's been on RT promoting Russian propaganda since he was born, his whole life. So that's all he's grown up in. It's all he's ever known. He's in an echo chamber surrounded by Russian agents and Russian propaganda that he probably sincerely believes. But he needs to listen to me. Rex, you need to listen to Unc. All right, dude. I'm looking out for you. I'm trying to save you from being wrong like you were about Trump for 10 years. You're wrong about Jesus. You're wrong about Putin. All right? Bite the bullet. Saudi Arabia says these Russians seem to be more honorable, better and smarter, more honest people than the people I deal with in America. Total slop. Total slop. Russophile Network. Scott. So how about this girl now? Remember I've been covering her, the anti-Western. She calls America the Satanic. What did she call it? The curse of the world or something like that? Cancer of the world, I think it was. People called her a Russian agent, and she was like, I'm going to sue you. Well, now here she is on RT. Here she is on RT being introduced as being a reporter for America Now, is what it's called. Another RT-sponsored organization, according to the Folk Intelligence.
And there's a part of the story that has many people asking questions. Who's really behind it? America Now's Elizabeth Lane takes a closer look.
When it gets to Utah data center, there is one entity that's very important, and that's my...
Why all these Russian agents shitting on data centers so much? It's not like we're in an AI race or anything, and they need those big data centers to have the servers and the chips for AI. We're in an AI race against our top adversaries, Russia and China. And we have Russian agents all over the West trying to undermine data centers.
MIDA is the middleman.
Oh, I'm sure they're just looking out for our best interest. Here she is with Scott Horton, the anti-war guy that constantly is shitting on Ukraine and glazing Russia. No, Elizabeth Lane is not her original name. It's some like hardly pronounceable thing. Yeah, Doc Jake Holiday says the AI arms race is more important than the nuclear arms race was. You're probably right. And they're trying to undermine us at every turn. Of course, she's with Scott Horton, too, another big Russia shill. Harrison Smith. They brought her, is Ben Swan getting paid by RT? Asked Folk Intelligence Report. Yes, he looked it up in another post. What, like $600,000 a year is what I think he was getting paid? Where is it? Dude, InfoWars has on the Russian arms dealer, the terrorists that sold arms that killed Americans. All right. There it is. Ben Swan's payments from RT. Salary $420,000 a year for Ben Swan, hosted RT. $600,000 a year. I think this is for 1 year for Ben Swan. RT host. If people were working for Israeli today, Israeli state-funded media, do you think people would be like, they're not Jewish propaganda. They're not a Zionist propaganda. You're just imagining things. They're just journalists. Isn't that amazing, Nate Live? $600,000 a year for Ben Swan. That's what we know of, too. I'm so mad I can't find. I'm going to search for hours and hours and hours till I find that clip, too. We got to do a good compilation. Me and See Through It All are going to work on making sure we got all the highlights showing. There's no daylight at all. They're all part of the same agenda of destroying the West. All these Abrahamic religions calling for it. All right, I'll keep looking, but let's jump over to some Amalek clips. Mizrahi explains why it's smart to be racist. Let's do this one first. First, he says it's stupid to be racist.
To be a racist, it's pure stupidity, besides the evilness. It's pure stupidity. Why? It's like you're going to an art gallery of the great...
Okay, sorry, this one I want to play. This is a good rabbi clip that's going in there.
They speak about Ezekiel 38 and 39 clear.
So they go to this guy. The Orthodox Christians go, he's not a real Christian. He's a Zionist. He's a heretic. But they both agree America is going to fall according to prophecy. How about that?
Clearly, Iran, it speaks about Persia. Clearly, Persia is Iran. And at the same time, you have this alliance of nations. You have Turkey. You have you have Iran. You have Russia. Which are all linked together now, and others that are linked together in the prophecy of Ezekiel 38 and 39. And this is to be distinguished from Armageddon. So we're in this period now. So it has to happen sometime before the end. At the same time, and another thing about where we are right now, along with that, is when you look at all the other things about the Harbinger and the Template, American, you said, we have not turned back to God. We are racing away from God. So one of the things that has to happen is
funny how all their talking points, we're falling away from God, we're satanic, Baal.
We have not turned back to God. We are racing away from God. So one of the things that has to happen is America has to fall. I mean, because the American-led world, the world order, that's the American-led order, is going to end. That's not the same as the very end that we read in the Bible. Right. So somehow we're going to see a collapse. Now, the Shemitah is a time, as I noted at the beginning, when you have seen collapses. The great collapses of empires have happened on the Shemitah, World War I and World War II. So could a collapse of America happen linked to a Shemitah? Yes. I mean, and the thing is, listen, we are already deteriorating economically. Our position in the world, our enemies are rising. China is rising. Others are rising. So we're already in the neighborhood. So you're right. It could. And, you know, we are going to, I will say this, we are going to, if America doesn't turn back, which it's not looking like that now, we are going to see a collapse of the entire world order.
Yeah, we're seeing it right now.
We are living, you know, in dramatic times. We are living in times that are hostile to God. It's increasing all the time. But the Bible said this was going to happen. You know, I mean, we knew this was going to happen. So we can't panic because it's happening. God said it. So it says God is still.
See, don't panic. You're going to be destroyed. Putin's going to nuke you and destroy America, and America's going to collapse. But don't panic. Trust the plan. Jesus will save you. You just got to pray and have faith.
On the throne because what he said is happening.
Greatest artist in history. You name him, whatever his name is. And he has 20 paintings on the wall. Each one of them is tens of millions of dollars. And you say to the artist, I hate that painting.
1776 Thesequel sent $5 on Rumble. 90% right slopcasters are American Christian Russian-influenced disinfo agents, rooting for Jesus versus Shin. Too stupid to realize is that this is power to Kremlin. They don't care about God.
I don't know if it's power to the Kremlin necessarily, though. I feel like they're a pawn on the chessboard being pinned against the West. This is the Abrahamic paradigm. I don't think this is ultimately at the bottom of it. It's all some KGB master plan. No, I think they're playing the role in the greater Judeo agenda. That's the way I see it.
This one I like, but this one's terrible. Ugh. Can you imagine a bigger insult to the artist to say such thing? That's basically what you say to Hashem. I don't like this creature that you made. I don't like his color, I don't like his look, I don't like his nationality. That means I disagree with your creation. I know better. Next time consult with me, I'll tell you who to make, who not to make. What model to make, what model not to make. It's stupidity. Besides the fact that all the people that are racist, if you pay attention to how stupid they are, they generalize in everything in life. Someone did something bad to them, let's say he was black. All black people are thieves. A Jew didn't give him enough love, all Jews are racist. Somebody, from Texas said to him, don't bring this next to me, all the Texas people are arrogant. It's stupidity. You just had a bad experience with this black guy. 5 minutes later, the next black guy is an angel. How are you going to explain it? Good or bad is not determined by your color or by where you were born or what kind of language you speak. It's stupidity to think these things. There are righteous people and there are wicked people. There are merciful people and there are evil people. In all nationalities and in all races, there are good and bad. Therefore, people have to finally understand that. Therefore, they cannot generalize. You can't say, all these people, I don't like them. And this kind of people, I don't like them. Why? Because he had one or two bad experiences.
Redneck Mullet
Thank
sent
you,
$5 on Rumble. Wednesday shekels, Voton Day. I have commie Russian Jew fatigue in extreme high cortisol levels.
Yeah, I'm got like a mild flu or something. My throat woke up with a sore throat and spit out a little bit, coughed up a little bit of blood. I'm at 74, so I'm chilling. I'm trying to lay low, and I'm not ranting and screaming and getting as worked up as I usually
with
do.
One or two of them, now you put an X on the whole nation. Stupid.
But
you must judge a person. You must be judgmental. Don't let the liberal, modern, faker, orthodox tell you otherwise. Everybody must be judgmental every second of his life. Not to be a judgmental, it's a sign that you're stupid. I'll give you an example. If I'm on a bus in Jerusalem at 2 a.m. and I see an Arab guy looking at me and his hand is in his pocket, what do I have to assume? Any second he will grab the knife, jump at me with a knife and scream Allahu Akbar and wants to slaughter me. So I'm ready with my hand on my gun or my pepper spray. Why is my hand on a gun behind my back? Because I'm judgmental. Many Arabs come and murder people on the bus because they don't like you, that you're not a follower of Muhammad. It happened thousands of times. Therefore, there is enough reason to be scared. If in the end he will pull out his pocket and you see a pack of cigarettes and he got off the bus and lit a cigarette, okay, I was wrong. I won't be punished for it. Reality shows that some of them are terrorists. That's why I have to be nervous. If I go to the bank and I see a black guy with a hoodie waiting by the bank at 2 a.m. looking at me when I go into the ATM, I have to be nervous. Better I don't take cash. Maybe he's the nicest, righteous black guy in the world. What is he doing there at 2 a.m.? I don't know. Maybe his parents threw him out of the house. He had a fight. I don't know. But I have to be nervous. It doesn't mean that I think all black people would rob me. No. But I have to be nervous. If I see a lefty liberal coming in the kitchen to help, I won't touch the food. Why? I don't trust him. He's probably going to put cheese into the meat because they hate God, they hate religious people, they hate religion, and they already proved thousands of times that they'll do everything to make us do something against Hashem.
Funny, just as we're talking about this, Tucker Carlson posted on RT just minutes ago, Russia is the last big white Christian country on the planet. There's so many Muslims there. They're not even like really fully European white too. They're mixed.
Why do they hate Russia so much? Well, I think it's very much related to the fundamentals of Russia. Maybe being the last big white Christian country on the planet is a...
No. Actually, it's because they invaded Ukraine and because they're subverting America with propaganda and disinfo. That's the issue. Meddling in our politics, meddling in our discourse, invading their neighbors.
Eru sent $50. Adam, I'll give you $50 to kick Mizrahi into Helheim.
We're going to watch his Torah science video, and I'm going to rip into him for some of that stuff. But I'm sure his Torah science is just going to be average, like Christian anti-science apologetics. It's going to be the normal Christian talking points that we've seen a million times from Christian apologists. Nate Live says Ukraine is the whitest country in the world. Ukraine is more white, and Russia is killing them, calling them Nazis. Yeah, they're more Christian, too. Not that that's a good thing.
Dangerous thing to be. I mean, I'm not, look, I don't want to believe these things. I never did believe them, but watching carefully for a long time has convinced me that a lot of the wacko fringe's darkest suspicions may have some truth in them. Because what's the other answer? Why would it be a war with Russia? How many Americans want a war with Russia? That was not on our list of...
Dude, why? Because they invaded Ukraine and they were our ally. That's why. That's why. And we're not at war with them. We're supporting them against an invasion. That's not us going to war with them. Oh, it must be because they're so white and Christian. That's propaganda targeting white Christian Americans. Soviet Russian propaganda from RT, state-sponsored media, trying to use lies to trick Americans.
Options in the last election, vote for this guy, we'll get a war with Russia. Nobody wants this. But our leaders want it, and you have to ask why. Why do they hate Russia so much? Well, I think it's very much related to... Right when I said it, they posted that. Crazy. Look at this. I'm searching for that old video. I found this. Me responding to True News in 2020, 6 years ago. He says, Donald Trump's 2016 campaign did receive outside foreign assistance, not from Russia, but Israel. And I said, Russia colluded with Trump too. Putin and Bibi are connected to Chabad and both wanted Trump.
How'd that age? Pretty good. Not bad. Stu really loves Putin. Let's see Stu and Dugan, by the way.
I'm an America First person who loves Jesus Christ. I love God. I serve God, and I take care of my family. I mean, I don't know where we lost this, in our nation's history and how we allowed this infiltration to happen, but we certainly are living in extraordinary times. And by the way, all prophesized in God's word. All of this. Is this the Gog and Magog that the Bible talks about?
Well, some people believe that. I mean, a friend of mine, Adam Green, does a lot of research in Jewish prophecy, and he says, yes, this is the beginning of Gog and Magog. He does a lot of work on this, and it seems to be.
I don't say it is. All the Christians and the rabbis say it is.
I mean, it seems to be like this is all happening because now Russia is telling Israel, wait a minute, what are you doing? And Russia and Iran are getting closer, and so it could be the start of this horrific, Armageddon war that has been prophesized. And again, there are enough people in Israel that are super right-wing, ultra-religious Zionists that want this to happen. Again,
and meanwhile, we're seeing the Russian Orthodox Church do some of the most Christian things that you could possibly imagine. Yep. And you see Vladimir Putin, seemingly from where we sit anyways, looking like the only man standing between the Rothschilds' criminal banking cabal and whatever this new world, one world governance is that's coming our way and whatever's left of this free world. But yet he's the boogeyman, and he's the one that everybody should hate. And if you don't hate Putin and love Israel, then you're just like some heathenist murderer. When in fact, Jewish supremacists are carrying out genocide right now in that region of the world. Lucas Cage.
I thought he was glazing Putin harder in that one. Look, Martinez Politics says the Rothschilds still have an office in Russia. Peters is a clown meme tier. Yeah, I love how Stu's basically like a Nazi. He was promoting Mein Kampf, and then he loves Putin. When Putin's all about fighting anti-Semitism and fighting Nazis. How does that make any sense? Like here, look at this. Ronald Lauder, World Jewish Congress, thanks Putin for fighting anti-Semitism. There's your hero fighting the Rothschild satanic cabal. Stu blocked me too. He's such a coward. He's such a fucking lying idiot, retard. Can't even believe how stupid he is. And all the stupid people that follow him. Top trending video on BitChute. Dude, for a while, BitChute was just so dominated by the Kremlin bot farms and Mel K and Charlie Ward and SG Anon and SGT Report. It was just total. So much of the alt media is just completely dominated by kosher controlled op talking points. We'll say that.
The situation I'm looking at is the Ukraine. I think that's where we're going to see some pretty exciting stuff coming up.
I agree 100% because people forget what. First of all,
hey, Mel K was just on RT, and she's on InfoWars a bunch now too. And now she was on RT with Ben Swan.
Oh, people in America have to start asking themselves, when did the
Putin's against the Jews. Meanwhile, Chabad loves him. Great logic there. So does Dan Kazarian. Dan Kazarian what? Oh, Stu still follows you?
Ukraine becomes...
Yeah, she's half Israeli. Melody Krell, softcore porn actress turned kosher truther.
So important.
She has me blocked too.
To America. When? I'll tell you when. When they did a color revolution in 2014 in the Ukraine under Obama. And that's when all the Burisma stuff started. That's when all the theft started. That's when Joe Biden was the guy in the Ukraine. Everything happened there. Soros went in with his NGOs. They pop in their guy. They get rid of the real. They just did the same playbook in America. They did the same thing.
The other thing that you can't over. This isn't between Russia and Ukraine.
No.
This is between Putin and taking down the Khazarian mafia.
You better believe it. And Putin's been...
See? There's your Russian propaganda line. Putin taking down the Khazarian mafia. There's your Russian propaganda right there. Every single time. You better believe it. Khazarian mafia.
They're foundationally dug in deep.
But it's not Putin. It's the whole alliance.
It is the whole alliance, without a shadow of a doubt.
He's just been the loudest one, but Trump too. I agree. I agree with
Didn't Putin already come out and say the New World Order agenda is dead?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yes, he did.
It is
Yes,
dead.
he
But
did.
that was just a few weeks ago, right? Or was
Dude, Putin destroyed the New World Order, dude, and he opposes the Satanists, and he loves Jesus. You could trust him. He should destroy America to save us from the
He
Satanists.
said it many times. He also said the New World Order worships Satan. I mean, he doesn't mess around. But what Simon, I think you're talking about is that that the Russians are the aggressors is such a lie. It's such a lie because NATO is the one world government's military, not, it's just like the CIA. That's their.
And yet, Mel, it's paid for by the Americans. That's what's amazing.
Of course it is, because we're stupid. This is the stupidest thing.
So
see, like this woman now is like everywhere, getting boosted, astroturfed everywhere. She was working with Mike Flynn in the Reawaken America tour. She's like on InfoWars and shit too. And she came up. We watched her come up with Charlie Ward and all these Q-tards saying the most retarded shit that didn't happen at all that you could ever imagine.
This is the stupidest thing.
So
yeah.
So if
we pay for all of our demise and allow it.
More Putin shilling. QAnon, Operation Trust the plan. White Hats are in charge. Putin and Trump are the White Hats taking down the Khazarian mafia.
For sure. There's also a lot of this virtual Davos they just had. Was first of all, neither Biden nor Boris Johnson were invited.
Yeah, she was on Jimmy Dore the other day. There you go. More Russia shills.
Oh wow.
To participate. So that's weird. And then Putin's up there being like, it looks like 1933 Germany, and this isn't.
Oh, Putin's so based. He's doing the Jewish line that it's evil Nazis in 1933 Germany and evil Edom needs to be destroyed. It's so anti-Semitic. You hear her? She was on InfoWars saying that she does the Nazis didn't lose the war. They're in the Antarctica bases. They're underground. They're secretly running everything. The UN, the World Economic Forum. They're all a bunch of globalist Nazis everywhere. That's what she does.
Good, and he's the only one up there saying, you guys are out of your minds. It's over. That's what I'm hearing these people say.
Okay, so I was going to ask you that, Mel or Charlie. What's Putin's role in this? He's with us, right? He's with Trump.
Yeah.
Trillion%.
Okay.
Trillion.
Okay. So he's up there based. Okay. All right.
Yeah, Trump's a white hat. Trump and Putin are the white hats taking down the Khazarian mafia, taking down the Jews and the Khazarian mafia. Meanwhile, they're Chabad's top guys. Funny how that works.
I was always a little bit confused about Putin, but
Zelensky, why are you still saying that stupid shit? Oh, he threw the oligarchs in jail. He threw a couple of them in jail and gave and consolidated influence with Chabad. Is that based to you?
Yeah, so he's with Trump. Okay.
If you forget whatever Putin or Trump says and watch the body language when they see each other, they're like long lost identical twins. I mean, their hearts are exactly the same color.
And I know Putin said something that I don't know when he said this. I can't quote it exactly, but I think he said the New World Order is dead. Correct? Didn't he say something along those lines?
Yeah.
Or it's done.
He said it.
Yeah, and they're still trying to push this this Great Reset, but
more Putin shilling.
To the American people who are beginning to wake up to the truth that the system is completely corrupt and contaminated. And it will have to go to the military tribunal. But that is a good thing because a lot of people are overlooking the fact they think Biden's the president. Of course, most people who know what's going on know he's not. Because at this moment in time, the military are in control in America.
Yeah. She's sitting there nodding along with this total mentally ill crank grifter they were saying that Trump was still the president and Biden is a body double and he's wearing a mask and he's not really in charge and the White Hats are about to take him down. They were saying all this shit back in 2021. And she's sitting there nodding along, wrong about everything. These people, they fail up. They get everything wrong. They're total trash, and then they just get on all the platforms. Funny how that works.
Not Trump, not Biden, the military. And the military are not signed up to protect any president. They're to protect the Constitution and the people of the United States of America.
Right.
And when you wake up to that fact, then you'll realize the rest of it's a load of bollocks.
Totally. And totally. It's amazing that people are, so people are just losing hope, losing faith. And it's I can't believe that. You have to know that, first of all, if you believe in God, which obviously I do and you do, God is never, ever, ever going to allow, God and the alliance is going to allow America to be a communist country. It's not going to happen.
Putin's going to save us from communism, guys. God, Putin, and Trump and the White Hat Alliance are going to save us from the satanic ball-worshipping Khazarian mafia that aren't Jews. They're fake imposters giving Jews a bad name. Like, this is total slop of an alternate universe. X-22 report, that's another good one that was doing this shit.
And that's one thing. Second thing, if you've noticed, which I'm sure you have, it is Putin and the other people who are opting out of the central bank cabal stuff. One thing people might not understand is Russia is not the enemy of the United States. Russia cares about Russia. Putin cares about Putin. Putin is Russia first, as Donald Trump is America first.
Yeah.
What is going on is that our media...
I think she's right. Putin's Russia first, like America's Trump is America first. Well, Trump is a slave of Israel. Trump is not America first. He's Israel first.
Controlled by the central bankers are pissed that Putin kicked them out of his country.
Correct.
He's the one, and he's not alone because, of course.
Hey, Zelensky, you sound just like this little propagandist, half Jewish Mel K. Oh, he cooked all the bankers out of the country. There's no more bankers in Russia.
Him and Trump are working in cahoots and have been the whole time. They really, their biggest thing that they agree on is the child sex trafficking, the destruction of family, the kicking out of God of society, and Judeo-Christian values, and basically taking care of their own countries first.
Judeo-Christian values. They love Judeo-Christian values. Putin celebrates the communist victory over the Nazis during World War II. Right.
So this goes against the face of everything.
That's why all the Nazis love him.
And, if people still don't believe in the cabal and haven't done the research on the UN and the World Economic Forum and the IRS and the Fed, that's their issue. Because once you do that, you'll understand a lot more. But these Joe Biden cuckoos, they're really the most dangerous people I've ever seen in my life. And if you ever heard Wesley Clark, General Wesley Clark one time explained what happened in Iraq and Iran and everywhere. And that
Jewish woman confronts street preacher. Hold on. No. We got one more. Putin blames America for what's going on in Gaza. Not Judaism, not Jews, not Israel, not Netanyahu. Has Putin criticized Netanyahu ever or vice versa? I haven't seen it. Putin refused to arm Iran against Israel because he said there's 2 million Russian Jews, Russian-speaking Jews in Israel. Israel never joined the sanctions against Russia. So much for greatest ally.
But what we're seeing today in Gaza, in response to the well-known terrorist attack in Israel, does not look like a war. It looks like a destruction of the civilian population. I can only reiterate Russia's official position. We deem this to be a result of the United States policy.
See? Israel's slaughtering Gaza because of United States policy. We're to blame for it. Not that we're controlled by Israel and our politicians are blackmailed and bought off and religiously brainwashed. No, it's the other way around. They're our base in the Middle East, aircraft carrier in the Middle East. They're our front. They work for us. That's what they want to push. See? And you see how this is subversive. How funny how every bit of Russian propaganda in some way ultimately ends up helping Israel in the Jews. Funny how that works out. Isn't that not suspicious? Putin, Israel, and Judaism. This I had to hide this because this Chabadnik flagged me down when I first posted it.
The difference between Poland and Russia is a vibrant, dynamic Jewish community. I was in Moscow on Simchas Torah night. There were 1,000 people there. There were 13 oligarchs in the room. Their net worth was $30-some-odd billion. Now, what shul in America has people worth $30 billion in the shul for dancing? At 3:30, at 4, so we were dancing till 11 o'clock, and then we had a break, and then we had the dancing again. At 3 o'clock in the morning, we went on the street, and at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm walking home with Rabbi Lazar. You'd think he'd be impressed that he had these oligarchs worth $30 billion. He said to me, I had success tonight. I said, what was your success? He says, 3 guys decided to get a bris, and 3 guys or 4 guys decided to put on tefillin. But we're talking here a different kind of world. You know, they house a row of Mercedes in front of the shul, each guy with a driver and bodyguards, and these guys are dancing inside like everybody else. They run the economy of Russia. The difference is we're the Jewish establishment in Russia. There's no Jewish federation. We are the Jewish federation.
Meaning Chabad.
_redneck mullet sent $5 on Rumble. Majority of the Ukrainian army is made up of Netzok, pagans and lovers. Ukraine are fighting to stop another Holodomor event. This is the spirit of the 14th Galicia SS Waffen Ukrainian Division.
Is it the majority? I couldn't confirm if it's the majority or not. That seems to be the Russia line, is to say they're all Nazis. I think it's a lot more nuanced than that. But maybe I'm wrong. Not sure.
There's no ADL, we are the ADL. There's no AJC, we are the AJC. Judaism in Russia is run 98% by Chabad. It's a different ballgame. One of the other elements...
Does this sound like he kicked out the Jews? Hey, Rick, what do you think, Rick Wiles? What do you think about Chabad having all that influence in Russia?
My homework.
Always the dad jokes from Garrett. Yeah. Oh, is the Khazaria Mafia in the room with you right now?
For the success of Judaism in Russia, even though he's not so popular right now in the United States, has been the friendship to the Jewish world of the president of Russia, which is Vladimir Putin. And you have to ask yourselves, why is this so? I heard a great line from a professor of mathematics in Novosibirsk. He told me like this: Putin may not be good for Russia, but he's definitely good for the Jews of Russia. Putin may not be good for Russia, but he's definitely good for the Jews of Russia. Why is he good for the Jews of Russia? Because when Putin was a young child, he lived in an apartment building in St. Petersburg. And he would come home every day from school, and his parents were out working, and in the same entrance, in the same apartment or the adjacent apartment, there lived a religious Hasidic family. And when he would come home, and there was nobody to take care of him, they would do his homework together with him. And he spent his youth growing up basically in the house of an Orthodox Jew. So he feels a tremendous sense of hakoras hatov, of recognition for good to the Jews, and what he got. All his childhood friends were Jews. And I also think he sees the positive effect that they have in building Russia as a new country, the fact what the rabbis do in Russia and the shluchim are doing in Russia.
A lot of deals.
Russia is a different mentality. And this is part of the conflict right now between Russia and the United States. You can't push the Russians have to be dealt with through quiet. A very shrewd observer in Moscow told me, you can't deal with Russia like the United States. Here it's public pressure, it's tumult, it's polls. In Russia, everything is quiet deals. For instance, there is a lot of quiet deals between Russia and Israel that you know nothing about. And the early meetings between Putin and Sharon and Putin and Bibi were orchestrated by Chabad. They were arranged. But a lot of the deals, Russia is a different political mentality. There is a lot of quiet deals between Russia and Israel that you know nothing about. There is a lot of quiet deals between Russia and Israel that you know nothing about. Russia is a different mentality. And this is part of the conflict.
25% of the wealthiest Russians are Jewish. Rough. Rut-roll. Jewish woman confronts street preacher for preaching Jesus near her son. Let's see that.
Can I just ask what you're proselytizing for? My son's never seen someone who proselytizes.
Come again?
My son's never seen someone proselytize.
Well, you have a difference between proselytizing and preaching. So I'm preaching the word of God, and God's word goes forth, and it doesn't return unto him void.
Dude, you're doing it publicly on the street, dude. That's proselytizing.
Commanded in Scripture to go in all the world and preach the gospel. And so...
And the gospel prays to Jesus, correct?
Come again? I didn't
hear you. The gospel prays to Jesus?
the gospel prays to Jesus?
Yes, is this for Jesus? I'm just trying to understand.
Absolutely.
We got a Jewish Karen on our hands here.
So Jesus Christ truly born me again and saved my soul.
Oh, no, because I'm a Jew, and you're praying to a devout Jew, and we just find that absolutely idiocy, just so dumb.
Idiocity. Absolutely idiocity.
Well, that's why he came into his own received him not.
No, he did.
And that's exactly what he did. Yeah. Could I show you in the Word of God?
Grave robbers. See, Jews just don't even know what they're talking about when it comes to Jesus so often. Grave robbers. Like as if not it's a Jewish midrashic myth. No, it's grave robbers. He didn't resurrect. It was grave robbers. So stupid.
Your Messiah? This is
is bullshit because they wrote
You're
the
a
50 to 60
Is that what a Jew would say?
After he was dead.
Is that what a Jew would say? No filthy communication proceed forth out of your mouth. So you honor God with your lips, but your heart.
Can you let me ask you a question?
Yeah, absolutely. If you'll do the same, then it'll be a dialogue. If it's going to be a monologue, I'm going to go back to my mic.
Dude, Taekwondo mom, she's about to fucking put him in a choke lock.
Again, what we don't understand is why you pray to a devout Jew who would go to temple with me. By the way, he's never come back.
Yeah.
But
he destroyed your temple.
He did not.
In 70 AD. He prophesied of it and it happened. Dude, is that not a fact of history?
Like the Roman army destroyed the temple. And Christians are such like gaslighters. They'll say Jesus did it. Because in the fake gospel after the temple was destroyed, they put a prophecy in there that he predicted it. Imagine falling for that type of a trick.
No, it's not.
It's not. So where's your temple?
She is seething.
We need to repent and turn to your Messiah.
The temple was destroyed, but we kicked everyone out.
Yeah.
So...
No, you didn't. It was destroyed. He said not one stone would be left.
But it was.
And it wasn't.
That was the first
Yeah, she's possessed by a demon. I think you're right.
temple.
Yeah, then this is the second temple.
I know, I sat on the steps as they were excavating.
But why did Jesus
Two retards fighting. She sat on the steps of the temple.
He come into your temple, so he lived and existed. Why did he come?
He was Jewish.
That's right.
And he was a rabbi. He was a devout Jew. That if you guys thought it would come back, he would go to synagogue with me.
And so what a devout Jew say unless
wrecked. Totally wrecked.
You believe I am he, you'll die in your sins?
We don't believe.
Why did they pick up stones to kill Jesus?
We believe in monotheism.
So you said this would be a dialogue, but now it's a monologue. I let you speak, but you're not letting me speak, which is exactly today. I'm here to tell you, repent and turn to the living God. If you don't, unless you believe Jesus is I am he, unless you confess him as Lord and believe in your heart God has raised him from the dead, that Jewish man is going to send you to hell for eternity, where the fire will never be quenched and the worm. I'm so stupid. Woe unto them that call good. Isaiah 5:20.
Wrecked.
Can I just ask what you're proselytizing for?
The next time I see a street preacher, I'm pulling out my phone, too. I'm doing a stream tonight about Suffering Messiah with Neil from Gnostic Informant. Oh, yeah. QAnon shill Melk on InfoWars saying everything's secret Nazis run the world.
These people's like grotesque.
Putin's got to take out the secret Nazi Khazarian mafia, right? Right, guys? And the demons, too. Don't forget about the demons.
These people's like grotesque pedophilia emails. It's just time for people to realize we watched this in the Catholic Church with horror and people pretend still that's not real. We watched it in the Boy Scouts with horror. People knew about the Finders, the Franklin scandal, all of that. This is not new. And it has never been stopped. And like I say about our government, what it turns out and what my belief is.
Funny how the half-Jewish girl that shilled QAnon for years gets invited on InfoWars as an expert. Funny how that works. To tell you the Nazis are secretly running everything.
Is that, and I say this a lot, people don't like it. I say maybe the Germans lost World War II, but I do know the Nazis did not. And Nazis aren't, goose-stepping people that wear uniforms. It's an ideology. And Nazis were very into all of this, too. Think about their crimes you know about, but most people don't know that they had an occult theosophy that they followed with
occult pagan Nazis.
That would be like Alice Bailey and the Lucis Trust. If people don't know about that, you should look that up because David Rockefeller brought Alice Bailey and gave her a meditation room at the UN called the Lucis Trust Meditation Room with a giant black cube in the middle. And she's all about the world curriculum and the, basically the melding of all religions into one grand and one world religion. She
That's what your God wants. A one world religion worshiping the Jewish God.
He was led by Blavatsky, was her inspiration. Well, Blavatsky was also Hitler's inspiration. So, you know, you look at all this stuff.
Is that true? I bet you that's a lie. I find it hard to believe Hitler was inspired by that crazy woman, Blavatsky. Fact check. I know who would know this. It's Volkish Spirit. Fact check.
And you have to really wonder, you know, did none of it ever end? And I don't think it did. And frankly, I think a lot of these people were groomed. And again, I believe that had we dealt with maybe the Weather Underground and the real domestic terrorists.
Hi,
I'm Melody.
Thank
you, Daywalker.
We can pick a prophecy shared by all the Abrahamics and throw all our resources into showing it false? They just reinvent it and move the goalposts because it's a cult, though.
Every time they always double down, just like the Candace cultists are doubling down again. We'll get into that next segment. Here's Melody Krell.
Hi, I'm Melody Krell, originally from Philadelphia. 3 sisters, half Italian, half Israeli. So pretty nutty. And one's a doctor, one's a lawyer, and then there's me. I started out wanting to be Woody Allen as a woman.
Shill.
My dad had me watching Betamaxes of Annie Hall and Bananas and all these movies I didn't understand, so I decided I was going to NYU. Hi, I'm Melody Krell, originally from Philadelphia.
Half Israeli telling you there's Nazis everywhere. And that Putin's and the white hats are going to save us from the Khazarian mafia. I just can't. I don't know if I can handle, honestly, I don't know if I can handle any of this Candace stuff right now. I'll just sum it up. All these tabs I'll sum up. They're lying about this image. They're so desperate they're lying about this image. This is what they did. So this is the original. It's a wide angle lens, fisheye lens, where it distorts the perimeter of the lens, makes things curve, smushes them together to fit them all in the frame. So the security camera to the original is this one. That's what he looks like. Maybe a little bit more like that. That's the actual footage. And then they just stretched it out to go like this. Hold on. Like this. Perfect lineup right there. That's what they did. So, Candace or one of them just in Photoshop stretched out the image, which stretches out the cars, but the cars are supposed to look smushed like that because it's on the perimeter of the fisheye lens. That's what fisheye lenses do. Fisheye lens intentionally creates a wide dome-like field of view. Everybody knows this too. Every flat earther's ever always said this. This design causes extreme barrel distortion, which stretches curves and smushes edges to fit a flat image sensor. That's what it was. And Baron Coleman ran with this lie, saying, oh, look, they're so smushed, trying to act like what they submitted in evidence in the court was altered. No, you liars altered it. Candace Owens swears it was not enhanced or altered at all, not with AI or with a hammer or nail or anything. She's lying. She's caught again, she's dug a hole, and she's lying. Clearly, this is what happened. And you can see him with all the other angles. It's clearly him. This is what they did. Original, fisheye lens distorted, smushed up around the edges, and they stretched it out, and then they go, look, it's not him. Hey, Fed sloppers, I bet you're real mad now. There it is. Boom. Perfectly lines up with the image. That's what they did. They think we're stupid, that we're not going to realize that this is what's going on, too. And look what they got. Trisha Hope, some grandma with 60,000 followers. I would hope that Tyler Robinson's legal team immediately calls for the judge to look at the evidence submitted by the prosecution. It has clearly been manipulated. No, you clearly manipulated it. The prosecution has already been found in contempt once. This is much worse. 1,000 likes. Zach Costello, another kook, Candace cultist. I can't believe I never noticed the scrunch cars in the surveillance video that was submitted. Why would they alter the surveillance footage? Did they scrunch it up to make the individual look skinnier? Lionel says, Lionel, who's always on RT. Why would they alter the surveillance footage? Better yet, why would they alter the most watched and analyzed and inspected surveillance footage in the history of mankind? Dude, all these people are such stupid liars. You guys altered the image of the video. You took a screenshot of the video and you altered it and cropped it. Clearly, that's what you did. And then you guys say this. It's a wide-angle fisheye lens. You guys are incredibly dumb. Everybody says, you're an idiot, wide-angle lens. They act like they're retarded. Look at this. You see how the curving happens here too? That's fisheye lens. Clearly, the security camera is using fisheye lenses that causes distortion around the edges. Look at the top. And then they crop this little bit out of it after they stretched it out wide. Carrie Bowler says, she shares this image and says, release Tyler Robinson, 11,000 likes. These people that belong in a mental institution. They belong behind bars for these type of lies. 11,000 likes. No community note either. Hold on.
Okay, here's what Melanie shared. Okay, here's what Melanie shared. This is one of the people, by the way, that's in the now famed 92 group chat. She wrote, this is what you guys do. You abuse community notes. I noticed that your words are very specific here. Quote, not enhanced using AI technology. Let's be clear, Candace. Was the original altered in any form whatsoever? You don't get to squeeze out on a technicality. So I replied to her. I said, yeah, let's be clear, Mel. We didn't alter it in any way. We didn't use a hammer.
Hold on. Does that mean you didn't alter? By we, do you mean you didn't alter it? You're in your team, got this photo and didn't alter it? But do you know if whoever gave it to you altered it? She's still trying to weasel out with the technicality. Clearly, that's what happened.
I said, yeah, let's be clear, Mel. We didn't alter it in any way. We didn't use a hammer, a screwdriver on a rooftop. We didn't use AI tools.
And what is this stupid, like, trying to make jokes? Like, it would be altered in Photoshop. Like I just demonstrated. What a debacle.
We didn't use anything to alter, enhance, edit, or change the photo that we shared. No one's trying to squeeze out on a technicality.
You didn't? She keeps lying and looking up to the left after she said that. That's a sign of lying.
Okay.
There it was. Again.
Sorry to tell you that, Mel.
She's lying. Completely lying. Yeah, she takes edited images from someone else and then says she didn't edit it. Look, there's these fisheye lens on these cameras too. Look, same thing. Hoods, cars smushed at the edges. It's not that it's small. The lens is distorting it because it's on the edge. And the lens distortion is more on the edges than in the middle. In the middle, it's more accurate and true to depth perception and everything. So when Tyler's in the middle and then they stretch him out to where they think the car looks like it should be as long as it is, they stretch him out way long and they go, look, it doesn't look like him. It looks too buff. Amalek says he's pretty sure Stu Peters is the first to post this. Muffed slop. Oh my gosh, she's so dumb. Brave report. Also, these recordings that we're getting are at an angle. It's at a monitor on an angle, which also makes it look more oblong and not circular. Remember, these photos and videos are taken from a cell phone across the courtroom at an angle, filming a monitor. So look, hey, how come it looks like a circle here with the original straight on, but then it looks more oval because it's at an angle? These people say the dumbest things and then accuse us of working for the Jews. It's outrageous. This guy did a blog showing, he's a photographer, showing what happened, how they stretched it out. He did the same thing I just did, showing how they just stretched it out about 1.9 times. 1.9, and then they go, look, it doesn't look like him. And no human is built like this. The lens, wide lens, squeezes him. So that's what it looked like. They go, look, it's totally buff. It's not him. Let him off. This is what it looks like if you use proper lens distortion. So in the original, remember this roof here was like super curved. They straightened it out a little bit, like proper photographer lens distortion, which they do that. There's things in Photoshop that you can fix lens distortion. Try to fix it. So that's more so what it looks
Johansson $5. Tyler Robinson is going to be stretched out for real in prison.
Look at Jake Shields, total moron. He goes, this is why it's best to allow the evidence to come in before forming an opinion. Dude, we've already seen all the evidence at the trial, dude. You couldn't form your opinion until you saw this fake altered image, and now you decided that it's not him. Tyler didn't do it. Also, all these people were saying Israel did it before the body was even cold and they found the shooter. Talk about waiting to form an opinion. The more evidence that comes in, the less it looks like Tyler Robinson. 8,000 likes. Jake is so gullible. He just follows for every disinfo slop post is out there. Too many influencers stacked their entire career on it being Tyler, so they won't be able to admit they're wrong. No. Candace Owens and all of you guys have put your career on this being a conspiracy, and you can't admit you're wrong. So glad you got it on the record that now that his defense is admitting he did it and not even arguing that he wasn't there, or not even arguing that he didn't take the shot, admitting that he was walking up the stairs with the gun in his pants. They're not denying any of that. And he's going to be convicted. So are all of your careers and credibility going to be over forever when it's, I mean, they'll never admit they're wrong. It's already known they're wrong. They've been wrong since the start. That's the original. These guys act like they've never seen a fisheye lens before. It's crazy.
Walks on foot to exit the parking garage.
Not to mention, they got him with his car driving in right before this.
It's the individual in the red T-shirt and the shorts and the shoes.
And do you believe you recognize who that person is?
Yes.
Who is that?
I believe that's Tyler Robinson.
It's so clearly him, too. It looks nothing like the one that they altered. They literally stretch it out almost 2 times and then go, look, it doesn't look like him when you totally mess with it. Crazy. That's how bad they are. You know, Candace really is not the cream of the crop. She's the cream of the pie. She's the cream pie. Cream pie queen right here.
The elite of the Mormon culture, the cream of the pie, they get introduced to one another.
Everybody knows the old saying, the cream of the pie, right? Candace and her wine moms are not the cream of the crop of the detective investigators. How funny is that, dude? Miles per an hour, cream of the pie. The cream pie queen, Candace.
The elite of the Mormon culture, the cream of the pie, they get introduced to one another. The elite of the Mormon culture, the cream of the pie.
Cream of the pie. You know, the old saying, the cream of the pie. How does she do it? Cream of the pie groiper. That's so funny. Dude, somebody put together all of the words she gets wrong. Hey, everybody that believed this woman and thought she was onto something, do you feel stupid yet? Because you should. Then you should sit down and shut up and keep your mouth shut forever. Anybody that promoted her, enabled her mental illness, gassed her up, defended her, and all these obnoxious idiots, they're not just asking questions. They're accusing people of things, making fake, stupid assertions, and then calling us all feds and Jews.
Stop having people scroll through every second of my show trying to find me mispronouncing words, calling out Candace Owens, and waiting for her to make a mistake so they can try to delegitimize every effort that she is making to get to the bottom of this thing. Legitimatize, people were just trying to delegitimize why the crime scene was immediately paved over and the soil.
Stop trying to delegitimize Candace, guys, okay? If you try to delegitimize Candace, you're probably working for the Jews. Clearly. Why do you care so much? We're just asking questions.
Was excavated. This caricature of Candace Owens, there has been so much toxicity. All the toxicity is toxicity. I am saying this in its true denotative meaning. It is a biennial joint military operation. Sex slave was hired by Music Mogul. The Ukrainians now...
Music Mogul. Shallots. I want to say it's because like she's reading off the teleprompter and somebody else is writing her scripts. That's why she gets it wrong. But a lot of times it's when she's just in an interview getting these things wrong.
Have yachts. They've got shallots in Switzerland. The IDF even dropped napalm. Candace, have you had a chance to see the Michael biopic yet? I wanted to see the Michael biopic. Hold
on, biopic. Isn't that right? Biopic. That one sounded normal to me. Biopic. Is that how people say it? Is that what it's supposed to be? I've always heard biopic.
A cutlass, the machete, with such flourish, like Fruit of the Loom. Apparently there was no cornucopia. I am so very disappointed in Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, and Pam Bondi, who all made these grandiose promises. Many people within the White House believe that it was staged as well because of some other security protocol anomalies that took place that night. And we're going to say we're not going to be isolationists.
Biopic.
Because we're just going, when are we allowed to just be isolationalist?
She always adds the extra syllable in these like ist ones. Isolationalist. Delegitimize.
Going isolationalist, us having any shred of moral decency and upset about that somehow makes us monstrous. You know, this monstrosity was a part of the monstrosity. The monstrosity, it really wakes you up to the monstrosity. And a CEO and a chairman has to compartmentalize. If you can't compartmentalize, there was a philosophy class called Senior Sam, and he used to come in every day with a debacle. Taylor Swift.
The debacle is my favorite one. That's the best. Debacle.
Was somehow involved in this entire debacle. The Kanye West debacle, Christ is King debacle, the Christ is King non-debacle, Jeffrey Epstein, this whole debacle, Epstein debacle, and
her favorite word.
To move on from the Epstein.
Dude, how is it her favorite word and she uses all the time and nobody has corrected her on it? How?
Debacle, the FISA debacle, Hamptons debacle, whole debacle, and that whole debacle, entire debacle. We knew a kerfluffle happened as this dress kerfluffle causes this whole race kerfluffle, a serious kerfluffle. I did not grow up in a Prince household beyond a couple of his major hits, namely Raspberry Beret, retired Green Beret, to do it again posthumously, what did I say? Posthumously instead of posthumously. And so I'll give you an analogy, or actually an anecdote, not even an anecdote, a little anecdote.
Okay, anecdote is better than debacle, actually. Anecdote is the best. Anecdote.
Everybody uses the terminology blitz, blitzkrieg. Blitz means lightning. Krieg means war. A blitzkrieg, like, Catholic, no, he just liked the architecture. He loved the architecture. It was about the architecture. He loved the architecture and the architecture.
This one's a little close.
Charlie, stop telling us that it has to always be Miss Macabre. Became and this is correct, an adolescent psychiatric nurse. Obligatory. Does the obligatory, doing the obligatory. Obligatory. Tyler Boyer then jumped into the foray. And Alex Jones jumped into the foray. Tracy Martin, Erica's dear, long 15-year friend, jumped into the foray. And because these chips are made with real food, they are more satiating, much more satiating, more satiating, more satiating. They are more satiating. Towards the end of Obama, we started hearing all of this rhetoric. My rhetoric, the wisdom of Solomon, it came to be seen as an amulet or a talisman. And that like medieval jewelry, like everything that we're learning about medieval jewelry is a lie.
Close enough.
And there have been so many concerted attacks. Definitely am seeing a concerted attack, a concerted effort. Obviously, that's pretty.
Does she have a speaking disorder? Like, was she deaf as a child or something?
Reminiscent. Yeah, it's eerily reminiscent.
Reminiscent.
It is reminiscent.
She needs speech therapy. She's one of the most famous podcasters in the world. Has really hard time pronouncing a whole lot of words. She's just black? Is that what it is? I don't know. I've never seen educated black people pronounce words this bad before. Dyslexia? Could be dyslexia. Speech impediment?
A bit reminiscent, very reminiscent, so reminiscent. It's becoming very much reminiscent. Borough that has been corrupt. Borough of alcohol and tobacco, federal bureau of investigation, FBI bureau, federal bureau, state bureau, borough, the boroughs. What is the borough doing? All of these bureaucrats among bureaucrats into the bureaucrats, borough.
Bureaucrats.
Were you brought into an FBI bureaucro? Maybe he's being a little hyperbolic. A little bit hyperbolic. I'm being hyperbolic, extremely hyperbolic. This hyperbolic. Okay, I'm probably being a little hyperbolic. Not trying to be hyperbolic.
Hyperbolic. So just because it's bullock instead of bowling?
You're gonna know where he goes and shit.
I'm being hyperbolic. The Matrix hates me. I will never win any more accolades. He handed all these accolades. You certainly aren't going to win any accolades. The Hormuz Strait, Malacca, Japan, Gibraltar. You guys know. You guys know what I'm trying to say there. It's such a ridiculous way to try to delegitimize the research that we have done.
So good. They're just trying to delegitimize her that she can't speak. 7.8 thousand followers. That's so rough. That's great. I love it. And then you call her out for her lies, and then you get people like this calling you a Zionist. Oh, yeah, here's the photo I wanted to show you guys, too.
And we'll take a look at this image
of how much it clearly is him.
And I'm going to keep showing it over and over and over again until people realize that this is the same person. So this is Tyler Robinson when he was pulled over, and this is him coming down the stairs. It's a slightly different angle, and you're also using a camera that has a much wider range, and it kind of distorts a little bit. But when you look at the image, you can tell that this is the same person, okay? This right here, this person is this person. Now, there's people that just...
Candace Owens is like a really dumb person, smart person.
Will straight out say, he doesn't look like that person. These two people don't look the same. And it's like, you just don't want it to look the same. This one right here is from the side. This one here is from up and a little bit of an angle.
Okay, we get the point. We all clearly know it's him. His defense is not even denying that it's him. Oh, look, I forgot about this too. Vladimir Putin, Victor Bout, the Russian arms dealer, addressing a caller who says Putin is an Israeli agent. The argument's not necessarily that he's an Israeli agent, but that he's like cooperating, colluding, partners with Netanyahu. That's more so the argument. We'll cover that tomorrow, maybe. All right, the new Tyler Robinson defense just filed its probable cause brief, and it revealed what it doesn't argue. Nowhere do his lawyers argue that Robinson is innocent, that there was another shooter, that Charlie wasn't shot, that the microphone exploded, that the rooftop guy wasn't involved, that the recovered 30-06 was never fired, that any of the messages were fake. None of that. They're just trying to say it shouldn't be life in prison, exactly like I told you was going to be.
The apparent defense strategy here isn't to prove that Tyler Robinson didn't kill Charlie Kirk, but that he didn't intend to kill anyone else, and that therefore this should not be a death penalty case. Robinson was charged with aggravated first-degree murder because prosecutors say he fired a high-powered rifle from a good distance away into a crowded Turning Point USA event where others, including children, could have been killed. And at a preliminary hearing last month, they presented overwhelming video, DNA, and ballistics evidence to convince the judge to proceed to trial. But in a new filing, Robinson's lawyers argued the state has failed to establish probable cause, that the shooter knowingly created a great risk of death to another other than Charlie Kirk and himself. The state is required as a matter of law to show more than a possibility that someone else may be killed by defendant's conduct, rather that there was a high probability of that result and that the defendant knew of that high probability. The filing also objects to the use of hearsay evidence, including that videotaped interview with Robinson's roommate and romantic partner, Lance Twiggs, who told investigators Robinson confessed to the crime. The defense said the state failed to prove probable cause by reliable evidence and that therefore this case should not proceed. Everyone is back in court on September 1st for closing arguments, and then the judge will issue his ruling. Bill, as you know, Judge Graff does not routinely make rulings from the bench, so it's possible we could mark the anniversary of Charlie Kirk's assassination on September 10th before we know whether his accused killer will stand trial.
Wow, that's something else.
There's no way they're not going to have him go to trial, unless they do a plea deal and he just says no life in prison. The video, this is what his defense says. Oh, and of course the new cope is going to be, he's in on it, he's an actor, it's a fake trial, the jury's, the defense is in on it, the defense is fed slops. They're not going to stop. They won't stop. Candace is already trying to cope too. Look at what she's saying. This is her damage control this morning, 13,000 likes. She says, ugh, I've barely had any coffee and I can already tell that the overwhelming evidence crowd is lying about the recent case filings in the hope that no one will actually read them or understand them. Wrong. Everybody's posting the screenshots and the highlights. She wants everybody to not read it. Her audience, she says, don't go read it. Let her explain it to you. How are they not tired of running the exact same strategy and losing every time, dude? Talk about projection. Pay a bunch of influencers to make emotive claims and hope people don't actually read through the filings. No, everybody's posting the filings and quoting from the filings. And no, they're not all paid. See, anybody that debunks her is paid by the Jews. That's her cope for everything. It's exactly as they did with the ATF report and every other element of the case. Lie quickly, repeatedly, and hope no one will take notice. That's your game plan, Candace. I will report on what's actually in the filings later today, she says. See, don't look at the filings. She will explain it and give it her spin to you. That's what she says. I said, nobody cares to hear your spin and cope. It's over. You were cooked from the start. And then, but now she's not streaming today. She needs more time to do her damage control. Look, she says, okay, officially bumping my show today because I am realizing it would be a total mistake for me to do my show on this recent defense filing when we are less than 2 days away from the great debate. Her debate with Andrew Wilson on Patrick Bet David Friday. We will be live streaming it most likely. Candy is scared. Of course she is. Yeah, Candace, the walls are closing in like everybody told you they would. Grift is almost up. I, of course, have a lot to say about it, as always, but forcing myself to stay mum on it until me and Andrew come face-to-face on Friday. Please, so she read through it and she realized, oh, she can't spin this. It's over. Please appreciate how difficult it is for me to exercise this level of restraint. She wants to do a stream so bad, guys. So bad. She just can't because the debate. What an awful time to do this debate when the defense admits that he's guilty, basically, right before. Rough. As the usual suspects put on the typical 4K HD theater. Dude. All she does is lie. All she does is, look, there's Nate live. Wow, you scared ass bitch. Winning. Dude, I hope she gets just decimated beyond belief by Andrew Wilson. I hope Andrew makes her cry and disappear from the internet and go into hiding and never show her face again online. That should be the consequences for this massive of a lie that she's been pushing. Yeah, 4K is Ultra HD. Also, so 1080 is HD. Good one. Here, let's see a typical. Nothing lies harder than a profile picture. Let's see. Profile picture, and where we go one, we go all. Of course, grandma, Christian grandma. These are the types in my replies when I call out Candace calling me a Zionist, by the way. Women like this.
Personal opinion, because I'm getting so...
Yeah, no, I don't hope she goes into hiding. I hope she gets mocked forever, relentlessly, and it loses every penny she has in lawsuits. Whatever they did to Alex Jones, I hope they do to her by 1,000. Hey, Zelensky, you keep talking about importing migrants. You know I have a Johnny Gat video that's about the migrant crisis, Putin's role in the migrant crisis. I'm going to have to play that just for you, Zelensky.
Personal opinion, because I'm getting so much hatred from my own subscribers, which is whatever. I just spread the truth as I know it, as God guides me. And I can tell you right now that Tyler Robinson did not kill Charlie Kirk.
God told her, guys. God's on her side, and God said so. Do you doubt God?
They lied when they said the 4K. They were all lying, every single one of them. There were two.
First of all, I still haven't seen. I don't know if the court has asked if the cameras are 1080 or 4K. I don't know. I'm guessing it's probably 1080 because 4K is way too much storage. It would be like 1,000 gigabytes a day or something of storage to have 4K. So 1080p, but yeah, we know it's from across the room recording the screen where you lose all the resolution when you zoom in. Stop pretending like that ain't the reality.
People who didn't lie. Billy Webb and Brandy Cicilline. I can't remember her last name. Sorry, Brandy. I believe that's their names. They were there too, and they lied. They didn't see that.
You mean, who's lying? Candace said for months that Tyler was never there, and now he's clearly there, and he's on the roof with the gun taking the shot where they said he took the shot. And they still call us liars. You can't hate these people enough.
Maybe if you watch
Schizo grandma needs to put the phone down. The video evidence shows Mr. Robinson. This is from the defense, by the way. Video evidence shows Robinson walking up and down the stairs with a gait impaired by something along his pant leg. The reasonable inference from this evidence provided is that it was a fully assembled rifle. I thought it was broken apart. Screwdriver on the roof. They're saying, what is this? All right. They're not. Tyler Robinson's own defense confirms it was him in the videos, and they don't even deny that he had the rifle. Crazy. Rough for the pod sloppers. It shows they're gaming the community note system too. Listen how stupid this community note is. When the photo was released, Candace Owens made it clear that this was not enhanced. So, because source, Candace said so. How is Community Note going to cite some liar like Candace that's been wrong about everything, and that's going to sit? Because Candace posted to her 7 million followers. She says, go Community Note this. Go lie to protect her. And they're claiming the original photo released to the public was compressed. They don't even know what video compression doesn't mean that it's like transformed. The vertical and horizontal axis are conformed. Compression means like formatting, like H.264, or compression where they take out bits and compress it and you lose pixels for storage. That's what they don't even know what compression means. No, the original video is a fisheye lens, and one of these idiots took a screenshot of it and then stretched it out. That's what happened. They're such frauds. Lionel, who is this? They're all such liars, dude. And they just keep lying. I wonder what it's like to be somebody that just wakes up every day and then just lies nonstop on the internet. I wouldn't know. I always tell the truth. I don't lie about anything, so I wouldn't know what it's like. But there are people out there that just are pathological, compulsive liars that just, it's like their job to just lie about everything all the time. Christian apologists. Okay, what else do we have here? I think that might be all for today, actually. So appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you so much for smashing the goal.
Yes! That's awesome!
You guys are amazing.
Thank you.
I don't know why that crashed out. I'll be on with Gnostic Informant on YouTube tonight. Stay tuned for that link. And I'll be back tomorrow to cover all the rest of these tabs that I didn't get to and some other things. Appreciate you all. Thank you so much for the support. Like, share, subscribe. You know the routine. You know what to do. Leave a comment below on Rumble. Clip the show. Sign up for Substack, Subscribe Star if you want to support monthly. And I will see you guys very soon. Take care.